Okay. All right. Oh, I am live. Nice. I hope this chat is live. Come on. It's actually not where I wanted it. What's your order of the top 3 gold moments? It's actually changed recently. Like, I'm actually surprised R2-D2. I would say before last week, it was, or before this week, it was Walt, Mickey Hat, and Elsa. Before this week. This week, price-wise, I think it's still Walt. R2-D2 passed up Sorcerer's Hat, and I love Iron Man. I have an Iron Man, but I did not expect him. I knew he was undervalued, but I did not think he would fly up to 3K, to be honest. Like, that part is nuts. How's everything sound, by the way? Like, this is the first time I've actually streamed. I've made videos before and stuff, but this is the first time I've actually streamed, so I'm still trying to, like, figure everything out. And if, like, everything looks smooth, let me know. If you wouldn't mind. But yeah, I would say those are my, as of right now, my top 3. I don't know. I think the R2-D2 pump is just massive because it's a Star Wars FA technically, like the whole R2 and C-3PO. But I would say I thought Sorcerer's Hat was number 2. Okay, good. Thanks, dude. I think before I would say Sorcerer's Hat was number 2, but now I gotta think it's like number 4. So I think it's right now it's like Walt, R2, and Elsa. I still think Elsa's top 3. All right, thanks, Sarah. And how's the music too? It's not too loud. I think Elsa will pretty much forever be a number 3 for me. Like, she might swap around between like 3 and 4, but for the most part, I think she's always like number 3, in my opinion. She's the first Disney princess. She's like the highest grossing princess. Like, she might as well just be like her own company from what I've heard, like just the amount of money she's made Disney. And I think she's like the most internationally recognized princess of like any of them on the for Disney and stuff like that. So I think she's up there. She's always going to be like number 3 or so. I think the number 2 spot's going to switch around between like R2, Sorcerer's Hat, maybe Iron Man. Who knows? Like, Iron Man is also like he's not a Marvel FA, but Iron Man is probably one of my favorite superheroes. I would say, in my opinion, Iron Man over Batman. I would love to hear in chat if you guys think your opinion on Batman versus Iron Man. Not the NFT, but like the actual characters. Like, whether it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whether you feel like it's the comics or whatever it is. Personally, I'm Iron Man over Batman. I mean, I respect Batman, but I just like Iron Man a bit more. That's just how it is. Okay, let's look. We're looking at the top gainers right now, really quick. And right now it's 41 after the hour. So in 20 minutes, we're going to have a new update. And I think it seems to switch it up a bit. I would like to say that ecomi.wiki, which it's a paid platform now. I've paid for it. It's already paid itself off multiple times since I've started on VV and stuff. But I would like to say it's averaged by like overall dollar value, but it's not. It's not organized by percentage, but it does show you like the top gaining ones here on the left side. So like the hoverboards, I knew those were gonna pump. Like, yeah, these ones are all not a surprise. Now the House of Cards Cleopatra, like all that Da Vinci like art stuff kind of surprised me too. Will Todd be 100K in one day? Unlikely, but just like one day? Yeah, I would say so. Wally's up to 1,500. I remember when that dude wasn't he as low as 350 at one point? I mean, this was like a month ago, but wasn't he just like clawing at 350 for a while? Like, so definitely sub 400, but I don't know if it was like 450 400, 350. But like he was definitely down there, and he's still considered, unfortunately, like I would argue the lowest tier golden moment for the most part. But I mean, it's still a golden moment, and Wally is pretty cool. Steve Rogers, yeah, dude, this one pumped too. Like all of the Marvel Mighties, Red Skull, and this is actually one thing I kind of wanted to mention. I might even make a video on this. Is like actually the villains of a lot of these NFTs and stuff are gonna do really, really well. Like I don't have one. I used to have 3 of them, but I sold them a while back, of course, before this pump happened, just like everyone else. But I had 3 FA Jokers at one point, and I sold, yeah, I sold them all before they just pumped ridiculously, of course. But when you really think about it, there's 7 or 8 Batmans, but there's only 2 Jokers on the platform, and any Batman fan is gonna want to have a Joker. Same thing with this. Like, I feel like most Captain Americas are gonna want Red Skull. As of right now, there's only 1 appearance of Red Skull. And there's like 5 or 6 different Captain Americas, so there's a lot of ways to get the superhero, but there's only one way to get the villain. Yeah, Doctor Doom too, right? Like there's already a set of the 2, right? Like there's already a set of the Fantastic Four. They're coming out with a new series. They started with Sue Storm. I think the Human Torch is probably going to do the best of all 4 when they do come out, just because I think he's the coolest looking and like the most popular in my personal opinion. Maybe some of the more like hardcore like comic book fans might like Mr. Fantastic, because he does have like, I think like more lore to him. He's involved with like more aspects of like the Marvel universe and stuff, but I think Human Torch would do best just because it really depends on how he looks. I'd say that's a big deal too. And especially his like secret rare ability, if he's like shooting fire or if he's like flying away or does like some sort of spinny thing, and that would all be cool. Holy, this is okay. Ghostbusters logo platinum. I don't think it increased by this much. I think one person just bought the floor and it's just increased by this much. I think so. I mean, let's look at the listing. So what changed here? It went from 16 to 15 down to 12. Okay, so either they just got delisted, which is hard to tell, right? Like I'm sure the Ecomi API will tell you like whether it was actually a transaction or just something just delisted. So that would be kind of nice to know too, like if you could actually get that information where it's like, are these actual sales or are these people just delisting their Ghostbusters logos and it's just going up in price, right? Grab the figure and the comic. I do have the comic. I do have a pretty low mint of the Doctor Doom one, the Fantastic Four, like first appearance. I think it's like 2,000 something. It's like 2,300, whatever. It's low-ish. I would say like if you guys aren't on Twitter and not subscribed, but like if you guys aren't following the Alice and Vivi app, it'll give you notifications via Twitter of like if there's any NFTs at floor that are in like the bottom, or I guess technically bottom. I would say top, but technically in the bottom 20% of mints. So once in a while you do get someone that will sell like a very low mint for floor price and they just don't know. Beyond the Fan, dude, what's up? Dude, I watched your guys' stream yesterday. It was, dude, I'm sorry if I forgot some of the names. It was you, Omdog, the Padawan guy. Oh my God. Meet Jeremy Padawan, and I that new guy I just met too in that last stream. Never seen it before. It sounds like he's relatively new to like the kind of like VV Ecomi community and stuff, which is pretty cool. So Harley Quinn DC Bombshells is being slept on. I think so too. Like I'm actually very, very bullish on Harley Quinn and Joker, in my personal opinion. At least specific ones. I think Bombshells is good. The FA Harley Quinn is still low, but I'm very bullish on Joker. I kind of wish I picked up more of them. Back in the day when he was like, because I bought 3 of them when he was 500-ish or so, like a while back. I say a while back like it was forever ago. I mean, this was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. During the 12 days of Vivia, that's when I did buy a few of the Jokers at that time. But again, like I said before, like I mean, there's tons of Batmans, but there's just not a lot of, there's tons of Batmans, but there's not a lot of villains to go around. Yeah, it was a good stream. I like your guys' input and like the different perspectives. I'm glad you, not fought back, but kind of voiced your opinion about the Master Collector program. I'm not very bullish on the Master Collector program. It's very hard to. There's some whales out there that are collecting a lot of points or do have a lot of sets. But then again, some of those whales are buying maybe just a dozen NFTs, but they're just super, super expensive. You know, we're talking, you know, Waltz, a lot of the higher end golden moments, maybe some like the secret rare comics and stuff like that. So they might not get a lot of points, but they're getting paid off. But there are probably some whales too that are like, I need sets. And they're just going to accumulate an absurd amount of points over that time. Ice King FA, worth a buy at 250. Let's pull it up really quick. I honestly, Adventure Time, I did invest in Spider-Man's. I'm not gonna say which one exactly. Maybe I will. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say because I've recently switched my strategy to stacking more than kind of diversifying and all of that. Rare Ice King. Honestly, I think pretty much all the Adventure Times are underpriced. He's already pumping pretty well, but he has had peaks of 300 prior as well as 270. So like this isn't even his highest, in my opinion. Again, none of this is like financial advice or anything like that, but we see that there was a total of 37 listings. Now we're down to 60. So we've reduced down by a third or so, I would say, maybe a little bit less. And I honestly think all the Adventure Time NFTs are very undervalued, in my opinion. They are the second series to ever be released on Vivi. It's a Cartoon Network. It's probably one of the most successful Cartoon Network shows that was on like their platform. I think it had like 300 million viewers at like any given time. They have a wide range of like people that watch the show, like kids, adults, and just like wide age ranges and stuff. And yeah, like low mints. Like this is 3,000 mints. Ice King, 3,000 mints. And I do think these alongside Zombie Hunter Spider-Man's, I do think Zombie Hunter Spider-Man's kind of plateaued off. Like it already had its pump, but any excitement that happens around Spider-Man, whether it's the secret rare or people are talking about any of them, I think it kind of raises them all up for the most part. If Ben Reilly's pumping, the what's it called? Like the first series of Spider-Mans as well as the Zombie Hunters, I think are all going to pump with it. Maybe not as much, but I think they're all kind of tied together. So when news is heard about one, people are just going to start speculating like, well, if the secret rare is pumping, then this one will pump or whatever it is. So, hey bro, can I spend around 200 gems? What do you think I should get? Love your vids. Thanks. Creeper Dash dude. I also like your little avatar. 200 gems? That's tough. Honestly, Adventure. I don't think there's any Adventure Time NFTs under 200, huh? Honestly, if you only had 200, I would personally, now, like back then, like a month ago, I would say buy Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, because that was 4 or 5 videos ago, so a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I said like buy Catwoman, buy Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, buy 89 Batman, because I really like the story. And what was the other one I said to buy? I think it was like FA Batgirl or whatever. Those are all the ones I said to buy. Like those were like my recommendations for under 100. Now you're really hard pressed to find things under 300, in my opinion. At least ones that you want to see like do well in like the near future, or at least like a long-term hold or whatever. So under 200, that is one thing I actually did recommend for Omi the Clown, is to put, I would love to be able to put, I want to look up NFTs from 50 to 250 gems. I want to look up NFTs from 1,000 to 2,000. Just put a gem range in there, because there are people like you and me where it's like, all right, I spent all these gems, I only have 250 left. I want to kind of, I don't want to just sit on it. I want to invest it in something so it can grow, right? 200 gems. If that's all that's left in your account, I would say save it. But if that's what we have left to spend, I would look at some of the Adventure Time NFTs. I think they're hovering around 200 last I checked. But like Finn, he might be over 200 right now. Yeah, he's exactly at 200. I think this one could do pretty well. Less than 8,000 mints. Again, none of this is financial advice. This is just my personal opinion, but I think that could do well. Even though these are currently pumping, I think the fact that this is a common, less than 8,000 mints. So between Finn and Jake the dog. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. There it is. Okay, so this one's pumping again. So between these two sets, between these two NFTs, There's season 1, second set ever released, popular Cartoon Network show. Between the two NFTs, there's only 1,200 mints, 12,000 mints, I should say, which isn't a whole lot. And these are hovering around 200. There's not a lot of NFTs left hovering around 200. Let me catch up with chat here. If I had 100 plus sets of comics, I'd be bullish. Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I'll be honest. Like, I'm in this. I do love collecting. Like NFTs. I don't like collect a lot of stuff in real life, but that's why I'm actually like holding on to Iron Man. And so like Iron Man's one of my favorite superheroes. He just also happens to just be pumping. If they released a Wolverine NFT anytime soon, I would personally. I'm definitely gonna stack the crap out of those if I can. But yo, what's up, Frederick Cormorant? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Cassist off. Sorry, I'm like terrible at pronouncing names. Can you look at the Jim Lee Joker? Yes, sir. This one is pumped an absurd amount since I had him last, which is kind of sad. That's Dick Sprang. That is not Jim Lee. We'll look at, I think Dick Sprang could be slept on a little bit too. He does have literally half the editions of Jim Lee. I do think he has some wiggle room. I don't think he's half the price of Jim Lee, in my opinion. I think he should be about 2/3 of the price. So if Jim Lee ever got to 2K, like, which he has actually multiple times, he's actually touched well over 2K a couple times, like 2.3, 2.2, and all of that. But like right now, you can just see people are just taking profits at this point. You see, he put right when he pumped to 2K last couple times. So there's 94 listings. Now there's 119. At this point, people are just taking profits, which is why he's actually gone down to 1.9. So I don't think the pump for Jim Lee, I still think he's incredibly undervalued. Just Jim, not incredibly undervalued. Like, it's such a generic term to just say incredibly undervalued, because like all these NFTs are going to go up in price like over the like month over month. They're just going to go up in price, especially as more people get on the platform. But I do think Dick Sprang is kind of slept on because A, he's a rare, half the mints. I think everyone's so focused on the FA, but I do think Dick Sprang is kind of slept on for the most part. I do think his price should be about 2/3. So if Jim Lee is about 2K, I do think Dick Sprang should probably be around like 1.3 to 1.4. So at 850, in my opinion, I do think, especially since he has half the mints, and not too familiar with like the Dick Sprang artist or author or like that whole series of Joker, but like that could be the Joker that some people grew up with or that know over this one, so over Jim Lee. But we'll see. I'm gonna take a second just to catch up with chat for a sec. +1 for Joker. What do you think about Batgirl under 100 now? Is she really? The first appearance? I can't imagine that. What about Edo? Edo? I think it's Edo. She's not under 100. I don't think so. I mean, she's at 300. She was under 100 when I recommended to buy her like 3 weeks ago, but not anymore. Let's see now. Let's see what's going on here. I mean, people aren't taking profits. I think people just might not have either picked up on the fact that she's pumping, but I mean, it's been happening for 3 days now. People aren't relisting, or at least like people aren't taking profits. So at least that I can see. We will have a market update here in 5 minutes, so I could recheck some of these in 5 minutes when the ecomi.wiki like does update for the most part. And we'll look up Edo too. I don't know why I put one capitalized, but not. Coca-Cola under 200. Goodbye. The commons flew way above that. Last I checked, I think the commons were at like 320 last I checked, which is really, really high. Those kind of came out of nowhere. It's funny because like we all talk about when like NFTs are undervalued, but that's the one thing I said is like VV NFTs, it's not a matter of like if it's profitable, it's just how much and when. It's like everyone's trying to figure out not what's profitable, it's like what's gonna be the most profitable. Either some people are looking long-term, some people are looking short-term, some people are just trying to find quick flips and stuff. I used to be into flipping. I made some great flips, and then again, there's some times where I've sold stuff like Jim Lee's, like literally a couple days before it pumps to like north of a K. So it happens. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at Edo real quick. Edo. Let's see here. Doesn't seem like, and I like to look at the whole graph too. I don't think you get much out of just looking the last like 3 days or even couple weeks. Like I like looking at the whole graph, the whole trend, the whole time, so you actually have a good idea of how many listings there were, where they're at now, how many people are potentially holding. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here. I mean, there's like, it looks like a couple of people are trying to take profits, which is why the price has been going down. So even when it went from 58 up to 66, that did force the price to go down. But yeah, people are extremely bullish about Ultraman, Voltron. I have a Voltron set. I thought about selling it multiple times, but I'm like, you know, I'm just going to let it ride. Like I thought about selling it, I think at least 6 or 7 times the last like month. Not last month, but I say the last couple weeks. Just taking profits and going somewhere else. But I was like, now with all the information about China and how they legalize NFTs, but who knows if they're going to let VV in or how that's going to work. I'm not exactly sure. They could do some government sanctioned NFTs that their blockchain's only backed by the Chinese government. Like who knows what they're going to do, right? But yeah, I'm just letting Voltron ride. Like I thought about selling them a lot, but again, I do think the villains NFTs are going to be really slept on because again, there's lots of different Ultramans you can get, but if anyone's an Ultraman fan or Batman fan, like there's only a couple Jokers. There's only one Ito, which I believe he is the villain, as far as I know. Let me catch up here real quick because I know we got some recommendations coming in. Creeper Dash Dude, I always kept gems for upcoming drops. You're not putting in more gems. Exactly. Like I said, if you literally only have 200 gems, because like if you look at the most recent drop with Sue Storm, like you spend 100 gems, or sorry, 50 gems, and let's say there's another drop happening 2 days later, and you get a common, the floor price is going for at or below box price, or like the box price of the NFT. You know, you don't want to sell it for a loss, ideally. So you just want to make sure you have enough gems for at least a handful of drops that are coming up. And then you can always wait for Sue Storm, which I believe Sue Storm, she's up to like, I think she's up to like 60 now, like the common. So like she is profitable if you did win her on drop, or if yeah, she's at 60 exactly. So I think now that since we had like Zombie, Captain America, Storm, and a few other, it's also funny they're both called Storm. I think that the era of selling NFTs and shit for like below box price is kind of gone. It's not gonna like stay below box price for a month plus. It might do it for a day or two, but that's it. Like it's I don't see NFTs, especially ones with like the Marvel tag on it, ever going below box price for like a long term. Labbits, yeah. I don't know which ones you want me to look up, but I have Iron Man C3PO, Secret Rare Globe, and you uncommon and common Spidey. Would you sell any of these for anything else? Short-term pump, I haven't looked at the Snow Globe. That could be a decent one, but your head seems to be in the right place, that you're focusing on DC. Has the Secret Rare gone up at all? It's gone up like 15%, 18%. I mean, you could flip a Snow Globe, the Secret Rare Snow Globe, roughly right about now, and pick up like a Jim Lee, or pick up some of the other golden moments right now. What else could you do? Plus, you can get a nice little thing of Master Collector points too, right? If you complete a set, because you said you had what? Iron Man, C3PO. Dude, both of those are solid. Uncommon Spidey, Secret Rare Snow Globe. It depends. That is definitely a long-term hodl, but if you want to pick up, I want to do like Avengers logo or Pizza Planet truck. If you had another K laying around, I do think Elsa is absurdly undervalued for 3K. I think she should be closer to like Mickey Hat, like 4.5, in my opinion. I think Elsa is very undervalued. Store by price, like this. Let me look at my stream to make sure. Okay, sorry about that. I usually have this open. That's why. In my videos, I always have it set up like this, but I forgot to open that thing on the side. So I appreciate it, or I at least appreciate you telling me that. Your thoughts on Ultraman? I don't know a lot about him. As far as I know, I'm not like extremely bullish, especially since I'm the kind of person, I'm not a huge fan of chasing pumps in my personal opinion. Like when something is pumping, by the time you hear it, you're usually too late, and usually stuff crashes. But I think we do have a lot of like pretty novice investors on the VV app, and I think that's why things like tend to like pump plateau, because it's like ideally you're not supposed to chase a pump, but like people are selling off all their other stuff and chasing the pump, which is why it's like going up again. So even when people are taking profits, you still have a lot of people just buying it up because they're just FOMOing it into it really hard. That's just my speculation on it. I don't think it's, who knows if that's true or not, but that's just my kind of personal opinion on it. But like if you did want to make a move, sorry, Joe Blee, if you did want to make a move, I would keep all those. SR Snow Globe, it's pumping pretty hard right now. Who knows if it's going to go back? But the fact that you can pretty much 1-for-1 it for some of the golden moments, as well as some other like good NFTs right now around 2K, that's something to keep in mind. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so Ultraman, not too bullish on it. As you can see right now, people are pretty much just taking profits across the board. I'm not going to focus too much on the posters, but like let's just find the common, which I believe is, did I pass it up? There he is. I think right now at this point, people are just taking profits. And I did hear on Randy Chavez's stream, there was a couple people in there that were, at least according to them, from China. And they said that like Ultraman, this version of him, oh yeah, people are definitely just taking profits at this point. Like you literally had 83 listings up to 173. So more than double the amount of listings. The listings have more than doubled over the last couple days. So people are just taking profits at this point. But the analogy he gave was that essentially that the Ultraman in this version is the equivalent of like the Marvel Mighties, where it's like he's not the original Ultraman, and it's cool looking and like people probably want to invest because he's an FA, but he's not like the Ultraman. Again, I don't know anything about Ultraman. That person just said they're from China, and like Ultraman isn't as big of a deal as some people think, but I mean, who knows? That's just my thoughts on it. Iron Man versus Elsa, I would say Elsa. As much as I love Iron Man, I would say Elsa over Iron Man in my personal opinion. Like FA Iron Man is great. I think longer term, I think Elsa will do a bit better. Unfortunately, it's not the FA Iron Man I wanted, but it's the one that we got. What do you think about the serial killers? They don't seem to have done anything. I really think people just invested in serial killers initially just because the speculation of airdrops and all that stuff. And legitimately, right when the airdrop happened and certain people didn't get the airdrops, they just sold all theirs. They're like, all right, I was kind of banking on the fact that there was an airdrop. I didn't get one. I'm selling everything. And people just like, basically the utility of the serial killers was used up. The utility was airdrops. And now that it's used up, people just got rid of it. So that's where I kind of see that, in my opinion. Then they did the second airdrop with the Golden Yucky Charmer, which I think that was for people that didn't get the first airdrop. I'm not exactly sure how that played out. But again, like serial killers is, I do think a lot of the independent artist stuff will do better off platform than on VV. I think everyone in VV is so gun-ho about DC, Marvel, all like the big IP licenses, but you go on like OpenSea or you go on like Immutable X, like people are used to buying 2D art from no-namer artists. But if you go up there and you actually have like 3D art that has AR capable and all that other stuff, and it's like a well-known independent artist, I think it could do better off-platform in my personal opinion. Plus, like those people on OpenSea and Immutable X are used to buying those type of NFTs. Voltron, first DreamWorks NFT, perfect for Asian market. I think so too. I think it's, is it going to be better or worse than Ultraman? It's really hard to tell. At this point, it's all purely speculation. If someone told me that Walt was going to be 30K at this point, or that ultra rare Mickey would be at basically 9K, or ultra rare Steamboat Willie, I should say, would be at 9K at this point, who knows? If someone told me this next comment, Batgirl on a motorcycle, uncommon is 89 gems, okay. The motorcycle one, I think that one's kind of slept on just because she's not FA, and she's kind of the artist alley, which people I think kind of associate with like the Marvel Mighties. I do think it's a good pickup at 89 gems. That is one you, if she was just like a slightly more popular character, that would be a very solid stack to get in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's just, the market is just nuts. And as more people are getting on the app, apparently like 20,000 a day, a small handful of those people each day or maybe each week are whales that just buy up everything. So it's very hard to speculate. If you have 3,000 gems, what should I buy or bought? I will admit that that 8.5%, let me move my chair here real quick. That 8.5% fee on Disney does hurt. Like, I've been there before where I've sold multiple Disney NFTs and I just watched that extra 6% just like burn me. And I'm like, oh, like that's, you know, hundreds of gems I could literally invest into something else. If you're trying to stick with Disney at 3,000 gems, I'd say Iron Man or Elsa. I do think Elsa will pull ahead longer term, but I think Iron Man short term will do better. At least if you're trying to do DC. Are you able to get a Jim Lee and a are you able to get Jim Lee and Harley FA for 3K? If you can, like, those are both very solid. Maybe. So Harley right now is at 1,200, and I thought Jim Lee last time was at 1,800. And that's the other thing too. Like, some people want to Jim Less. Whoops. He's at 2K, so I don't know if you can maybe make up some gems to do that, but like those are two very solid NFTs for 3K. Like, if you want to keep it DC and like not deal with those fees, so if you want to stack two solid NFTs, I would say those two. If you want some like less expensive NFTs, and like you want to stack them, if you're kind of like in the stacking strategy, I think the Zombie Hunter Spider-Mans are a good stack right now, just because they're still hovering around 300 last I checked. Yeah, 300. So I'm not saying stack 10 of them, but if you want to stack 5 and 5 of something else, stack these. I think the Adventure Time, like Finn, some of those could be pretty solid. Like I mentioned before, second series ever, and those are pretty inexpensive. Yeah, Finn is at 200 right now. I think he increased. He was at 199. Now he's at 209 or 205. Jake the Dog is making some moves. I think earlier today he was low 200s. Now he's almost at 250. So I like to try and give as many options as I can, because I don't know what your strategy is. It's like, are you looking long term, short term? Are you trying to stack, just buy one massive NFT? Because some people like to do that. Some people like to stack. Let's say you got 10 Finn Mertens, and all you want to do is like, well, I'm going to buy 10 Finn Mertens, and I'm going to sell one once it hits at 300, another one at 350, another one at 400. And like, you could do that. You could just dollar cost average your way up, and as you're accumulating those gems, like, you're still making profit, obviously. It might take you a while to sell like the last handful, but at least you're making gems in the meantime, instead of getting one giant NFT. And especially those prices are very volatile. You're like, oh God, like, is it the right time to sell? Should I buy? Like, should I hold it? Like, what do I do? When it's something that's a little bit cheaper, you can kind of follow the price a bit better. I say that, but then again, when you do have things like 89 Batman doing this, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I say like, oh, you could follow the price easy, but like, when you have stuff like this where you're from 200 to 300, so this is in the last 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. He went from 200 all the way up to 800. He touched 800 for a bit. People started taking profits. People tried to take profits multiple times, but it was just getting pumped up like no other. And if you guys didn't know, like, Batman 89 is actually like a lot of comic book collectors, I would say more recent ones, he's probably one of the most recent and like creative villains that have come out of DC in the last like couple decades. Like, the character itself, I believe, is only like less than 5 years old, but he's very, very interesting character. Those would be my recommendations. Thoughts on the ape? Sorry, let me go back. VOR Red. What does that stand for again? Let me know, Tara, what that stands for. Beyond the Fan, Cherry Vlogs, yeah, will end up similar to Ultraman. I think so too. Like, I think one might edge the other one out by low double digits percentage, but I don't know. It's all speculation. I do think, like, if you're trying to play the game of like Southeast Asian market, I think one of those two will do well. Although right now, they're both selling off right now, like Voltron, and people are just taking profits both in Voltron and Ultraman. Thoughts on the ape? Which one? Just apes in general? I guess I'll just type in Little Friends. Little Friends. What do we got here? Silver down to 920. Little Friends black and white 525. These haven't moved much recently, right? I feel like Little Ape Silver has been hovering around there for a good week, but I could be wrong. Okay. And I think like the ape meme, all this stuff, again, all the independent artists or like a lot of the decon stuff, I think will do better off platform. There's a lot of people that are all about like the whole ape strong meme and gorilla gang and all that stuff. Like I do think a lot of these NFTs will do better off platform than on VV, because again, VV are just very DC, Marvel, Disney, like that's all, like they're very much about that. But who knows? Like, I mean, I legitimately think that when Immutable X comes out, something like Little Friend Silver could sell for a whole ETH, and then the golden version could probably sell for like he's up to 7K right now. That's pretty crazy. I think the Little Friends, like Black and White, could go for like half an ETH. The silver could go for like a full ETH, and the gold could definitely go for more than that, whatever kind of like the cost translation is. And that's the other thing too. Some people don't feel safe about moving their NFTs off of VV. So, I mean, there might be 999 silver apes, but what if only 15 people take their apes off platform? That's a whole other market, right? That people can buy it for Ethereum, and now it becomes extremely rare because a lot of people are like, I don't want to take it off platform because it might not be safe, or I want to view it in AR or whatever it is. Like, but if there's only 15 off platform, like now that market only has 15. That's all that exists. That's all that matters. Gold one, I haven't really followed at least the gold ape too much. It was always so far out of my price range. I'm like, whatever. It's like, it is what it is. It's the creme de la creme of monkey and gorilla gang memes and stuff. So right now it's, I mean, 34 listings. Some people are trying to take profits, I assume, right when it hits 7K. And that's another thing you have to be wary of, is like whenever you hit those like benchmark numbers, like round numbers, like 700, 1K, 1.5, 2K, like whatever it is, it's like for some reason those like round numbers, those even numbers, people want to start taking profits. Like, well, this NFT is at 300. I'm gonna start posting it. And some people do that. Some people have stacked certain NFTs, and once it hits 300, they list it one at a time, right? You don't want to list all 15 of your NFTs at 300. You list one, it gets sold. You list one, it gets sold. You just do it one at a time, which is why it seems like some of those NFTs just can't break through that wall. It's like, why is it just not getting through this 400 mark or whatever it is? Like some people have stacked some of those NFTs and they just list it one at a time. Every 5 minutes, once it gets sold, they relist it. What do you think about MC1? That has gone bonkers. I also do have the Ecomi, or not Ecomi, but like the VV Discord pulled up. Like I love hanging out in the market chat. Sometimes you guys will, I do hang out there quite a bit and like just kind of shoot the shit with people, talk about NFTs, post memes, all that stuff. What was let me see here. Let me minimize this. Oof, we are getting ugly here. Oh yeah. I think all I have to do is just go to comics and top gainers, and I think MC number 1 will be here. Actually, maybe not, just because everything is pumping right now. All of the commons, ultra rares, all of the, like most of the, I would assume like the Journey into Mystery, Daredevil, a lot of the higher tier stuff that's on like the, what's it called? Sleepin' Comics has that YouTube channel. Oof, I forgot what it was called. It's like VV price charts, or like VV price prediction. Something like that. I forgot what it was called exactly, but yeah, like these are all, it was only a matter of time. People have been talking about comics and like how they're the next thing to pump for the last week. That's the same thing, right? People talk about it and it's just like a matter of when. Like, when is this going to happen? And I've been in that position before. I did that even too recently. It's like you're just kind of biding your time. Like, I just want to do all this other stuff first. And I kind of want to invest in that. And like, I kind of hope this thing doesn't pump, and it does. And then before you know it, things are out of reach. So that was me and Todd. I was like, oh, Todd's at 7. Like he's kind of sitting there for a while. Like I could probably afford him. I could sell some stuff, and like I could afford him like within a day. Then you wake up, he's at 9, then he's at 11, then he's at 14, and you're like, oh my God, like what happened? Like things are just outrunning. Not only they're outrunning the price, they're just outrunning like sense. Like, what does this even mean? But yeah, MC1, we'll go ahead and like pull that one up like directly if it'll let me. Hopefully. Oh, it's because I have it on top gainers. Once you're on this app a lot, or I should say this website, you kind of know how secret rare is actually down, surprisingly, but then again, it's 75 grand, so that's Marvels. Am I passing up? Okay, wow. I remember this one did push, I believe, like 750 or so. Let's see. Also, someone just told me that like my broadcast just says my broadcast. Is that what it says on the stream? how do I edit this? Could have sworn I put it in to like say like, maybe this will update it, hopefully. Sorry guys, give me a sec. Maybe that'll do it. It's so hard because this is my first time streaming and I'm using OBS and like, you have to cross them and like, even though I put a name for all the descriptions, it still says whatever. Anyway. Marvel Comics #1. Yeah, it's just pumping. And right now people are trying to take profit, as you can see here. I mean, when it goes from 350 all the way up to 386, you know, people are just trying to take profits at this point. But yeah, comics are just running away. I kind of wish I was more bullish on comics. It's definitely like a slower burn. As you can see, it's not like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not flying up and down a lot, right? It's steady. And it's definitely like a longer term hodl, which is why I think some people aren't a huge fan of comics. But as you can see here, it's pretty steady, and like all of a sudden it just skyrocketed back up. Now we're all the way down to 386 listings. So yeah, Marvel Comics is going nuts. Really loving the stream. I appreciate that. Captain Sugar Rush 1, what's up? Thoughts on You Are Spider-Man? I actually haven't looked at those Spider-Mans too much. I know Randy Chavez is like extremely bullish on Spider-Man. He's all about Spider-Man, which is awesome. Oh, it's because I'm in comics, that's why. Let's go to collectibles. Spider-Man. Spider-Man! He's a menace! Oh, come on, don't do this to me. I'll just leave it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna type in any more letters. It'll mess it up. Let me just get through chat really quick. And then if there's any other recommendations, I'll try and look them up. I feel like it's undervalued due to the SR at 100K. Potentially, it's... I do think people do have like an algorithm like, oh, the UR should be, you know, a quarter of the price of the SR, but like sometimes the SR, it's so exclusive, I do think it'll outrun it. I think it's impossible to have those, not impossible, but it's very difficult to have those numbers or those formulas always translate and always be true through the whole time, right? Because sometimes like the UR Spider-Man just can't always follow that trend. Now, but some people will definitely FOMO into it, and we still have tons of big money coming in, so I definitely think it could be a thing. Because like, where is the secret rare? That's the ultra rare. That's the ultra rare zombie hunter. That's not the right one. Secret rare is 100K. That's the floor. Ultra rare is at 10, or it's basically 9. Undervalued? It's hard to say. People are trying to, obviously, like 78 to 91, people are trying to take their profits at 9. Again, those kind of just arbitrary numbers of 9 and whatever it's like, for the most part. But yeah, I would say it's like, in the grand scheme of things, everything on VV is undervalued. Like, are you trying to compare it 6 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now? It's all undervalued. So it's just a matter of affording it, right? For 10K, is that... I will say, just for the fact that it's tied to the same series of the Secret Rare Spider-Man, and that there's so much attention on Secret Rare Spider-Man, I think it could be worthwhile. Is it undervalued? It's really hard to tell. Like, it's so much speculation in this game, guys. Like, sometimes I wish I could give you a better answer, but it's like so much speculation, and that's why you have different streamers and content creators, right, to give you different points of view. And some people have just been following certain series of NFTs very closely, like Randy Chavez and some other people. Let me catch up here. What do you think? What do you think it would be worth picking up an Elsa and an R2, or a Superman? That's tough. Superman is a 1 of 1, and I believe there's like 7,000 of him, 9,000, let's call it. I don't know. Some of the Star Wars people seem to have already been coming onto the app right now and finding their first appearance. I think there's a dash in between here. He's at 6K. That's tough. That's actually a really good question. But R2 and Elsa are combined right now, basically, what, 9K? And Superman isn't that? In my opinion, okay, he's at 8, so yeah, a 1K difference. I would say Superman, in my opinion. If you're trying to take if you want to have a point where you can sell one off and like be able to keep playing the game of flipping or play drops, get the R2 and Elsa. But Superman is gonna be in a league of its own, I think. My personal opinion. I love R2 and Elsa, like those are both really great. I do not know why I pulled up Lilypad. I'll keep buying them up. I love how undervalued the first rare Joker is. Dude, I said that earlier. Dude, I'm like half the mints, less than half the price of Jim Lee Joker. And I think he's always going to be in step with Jim Lee, about 2/3 of the price, but right now he's less than half. So if Jim Lee's at 2K, I would think Dick Sprang should be around like 1.3, 1.4. But right now he's at like 900. I think that's a good one. Let's go. I'm super blessed. Thank you. Love Sleeping Comics. Dude, Sleeping Comics is great. He had a new video like literally, I think an hour or two ago. I haven't checked it out yet, but thoughts on Steamboat Willie Uncommon. I have one of those. I have the Steamboat Willie set. I have a double of the common. And it's funny because I thought about kind of selling those for a Todd a while back. Kind of wish I did, but like they're pumping really hard and I'm just kind of like letting it ride at this point. 59 viewers, 17 likes. Let's go. Dude, that's amazing, actually. I did not expect this from my first stream, but my broadcast, I'm trying to update it. It's not letting me. I'll have to mess with it. Let me see. Yeah, I wish I could fix that, guys. I'd rather just kind of pay attention to the stream. Next time, I won't say my broadcast. I'll try my best. Where's Catwoman at? Let's go and take a quick look. And while I'm doing that, I'll kind of keep reading chat. Where's Catwoman at? SR, not the common. Is that looking at the common? MC Secret Rare. I mean, okay. Yeah, that Secret Rare was selling off a bit. I mean, it's at 75K. The Secret Rare MC, Marvel Comics. So I'm not too worried about like those like super Secret Rare, like Secret Rare Spidey, Secret Rare Marvel Comics. It's nice to like hear about, but like I don't follow it that closely because that's such in a league of its own. It's not for like the everyday buyer or for people that have been on VV for a few months. They might have a couple grand or a couple hundred gems. Like I'm kind of more interested in like what are people not looking at and what's affordable right now for the most part. Catwoman's doing great. This is another one I said for people to buy when she was under 100 like 3-4 weeks ago. I was like, get Catwoman, get the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, get the FA Batgirl and all that stuff. She's looking pretty good. Probably it has to be an all-time high, obviously. 152 listings. It's hard. I do have my phone here. Like I could probably pull up some of this stuff on my phone, but I kind of want to just focus on like the Ecomi Wiki stuff for the most part. But yeah, I mean it's in a good spot. It's hard to tell if it's gonna stay there for the most part. Because isn't there a show coming up of her like relatively recently of Catwoman? So I do think she's gonna do a format kind of like this where she looks a bit more realistic. But I mean, look at Iron Man. Like it happens. Like Iron Man looks gorgeous. So does Wonder Woman. But I think more people in general. Same thing with Deadpool, right? People would have loved to have a non-festive Deadpool, but it is what it is. It's because it's Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. Good call. There is a dash in there. I was the guy with the SR Snow Globe. It's 0155. That make you more inclined to hold a low mint? I would say put it up on the market and try and sell it while there's attention on it right now. Because in a week, maybe people have forgotten about Snow Globes. Everyone's talking about SR Spidey is at 150 now, Walt's at 35, and all this other, like people are focusing on other stuff, and like that's another thing you can kind of leverage too, right? Is if there's attention on your NFT and you have a low mint, now's the perfect time to post it, talk to people about it, mention it. It's because there's attention on it right now, and like all it takes is like, oh, here's the floor. I have I have a bunch of gems. I kind of want to get a low mint. Bang, bang, like low mint. Your listing is there, right? just the fact that there's more eyes on your NFT, that's probably the best time to like list your low, if you're trying to get rid of it, in my personal opinion, is like try and sell it when there's eyes on it right now. And especially like while it's pumping and there's like FOMO happening. Do you think Invisible Woman could pump a lot in the future? Pump a lot? I'm not sure. I think she's just gonna follow the same trend of Storm, but just skip the first like month and a half when she like wasn't doing anything. Like I said before, I think a lot of NFTs now, they're not gonna follow the trend of like Zombie Captain America or Storm anymore, because like there's so many people on the app, and I think people have realized that like there's kind of no reason to sell an NFT at or below box price. Like those prices might stay for a day or two, but it's never going to stay long term, especially when you have like the Marvel tag on it. Like it should not be that low. Thoughts on what the next collectible drop will be? Well, when is the Labyrinth drop supposed to happen? They said Q1, but I know that they had that Labyrinth drop happening at some point, so I don't think that's going to be the next one, but it could be happening pretty soon. Maybe another Fantastic Four drop, but unlikely. Like maybe they'll do one of the other Fantastic Four, like The Thing, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic. Me personally, there's a lot of NFTs I would love to see. I would love to see some more actual X-Men ones. I think Ninja Turtles would be cool. You know, Power Rangers. I mean, there's so many like awesome IPs that could happen, like Pokemon. But I kind of don't want Pokemon right now, just because the way things are. I mean, it's a catch-22, right? The sooner we have Pokemon, the less whales are on the platform to just gobble everything up. But then again, like I don't think the economy can handle Pokemon. Like the VV economy can't handle Pokemon right now, in my personal opinion. Like things would just flip on its head. Prices wouldn't make sense, and like prices for some NFTs would legitimately go down by 70%. Some, not like, I'm not talking blue chips, but like there are some like NFTs that would just go down 70%. I could see some blue chips going down like 20 to 30, which is a hard hit for a blue chip. 20 to 30%, and maybe everything else is like 40 to 50. But next collectible drop, not entirely sure. It's I used to pay pretty close attention to like the Discord chats whenever Reverend G's on there or whoever else, and sometimes they'll kind of give hints or like they'll kind of whatever, but not too often. 60 listings of Dick Spring Joker, yet it's 800, and the commons are at 2K. Eat. Yep, I agree. I do think Dick Spring Joker is undervalued. We'll even pull that up here real quick. I know I covered this literally like probably 20 minutes ago, but I'm gonna do it again. Joker. Just reset that. It's thinking. There we go. So 1,600 listings, 2,000. Dick Spring is at 850, and there's 63 listings. Yeah. I definitely think this will be one to pump very, very soon. I mean, just I'm trying to think of another. Look at Captain America. He's not an FA. At least like the non-FA Captain Americas, but like those pumped really hard. And like I said before, there's 7 different Batmans on VV. There's only 2 Jokers, and every Batman fan is gonna want a Joker and a Batman. And there's only so many Jokers to go around. There's 1,100. There's less than 1,100 Jokers on VV. Let's just say that there's less than 1,100 Jokers on VV, and there's tens of thousands of Batmans of all kinds. Of course, ultra rares and different, levels, but there's only 1,100 Jokers on VV. People are done with comics. A lot of rares have nearly the same mint numbers as UR, yet the UR is 2 to 3 times the price. It could be cover art. I mean, there is some value to the rarity itself, just the fact that it does say ultra rare, whatever. I'm not too familiar with like comics, like to be quite honest. So, oof, Bart dropped hard. Is that what happened? Look at that. People taking profit on Homer and Bart. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It is one of the weaker golden moments, in my opinion. I would probably put him. I'll put him above Wally. I'll put him above. Well, I was gonna put him above Wally, but like, where's Wally at right now? I'll just type in golden moments. Golden. If I just leave it at golden, it'll pull up like the serial killer drops. Whoops, messed that up. Okay. So I would say, all right, we'll pull up Homer here a bit more. Let's do this. So 254, 222. Doesn't look like, maybe it's not updated yet, or like, I'm sure it's happening right now in the market, but we gotta wait 30 minutes for the, for obviously the like VV API to update and for economy to receive it and then update everything. But yeah, what's up? Sorry, I completely overlooked that. Beyond the Fan, and then Omi the Clown was in my chat. Holy crap. That is awesome. Already paid for the sub, as you can see. It's well worth it. And of course, like, I can't stream every day, obviously, or I can't do this every day, every hour on the hour, but like, there's a lot of useful information on here, and like just different ways to read the graphs. And that's probably my favorite part, is like people read graphs differently. Like even when I watch other streamers or other content creators like read these graphs, it's just interesting how they point out certain things. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, Homer's pumping like really hard. Like my personal tier list, I would say for golden moments, goes from the bottom. I would say is from the bottom is Wally, unfortunately. Wally or Skateboard. I would actually put Wally above Skateboard, but like they're pretty on par with each other. So Wally, Skateboard, Pizza Planet Truck, Homer, Bart. What's left? I would like to see Avengers logo below Homer and Bart, but I don't know. MCU's done an amazing job with marketing and all that stuff in all the movies, so I'd put it slightly, maybe on par with Bart and Homer, but slightly above Homer, Bart and Homer. Walt's obviously at the top. That it's pretty much a mix and match between like R2, C3PO, Iron Man, and Elsa. I would put Elsa above all of them, and then R2 and C3PO are on par than like Iron Man or something like that. It just depends. And I'm not talking about just price, but like, it's part of it is, I mean, R2-D2 just exploded, unbelievably, because I think he's technically the FA, right? Or was it C3PO of like the Star Wars? Like, I don't know which one was technically minted first, but cool. The OGs, yep. What do you think about Star Wars? This is undervalued. Again, undervalued is like a very like arbitrary term. Like it's all undervalued at the end of the day. Like it's all gonna get bought up. It's just what you can afford, right? I do think that just the Star Wars IP has just been slept on for a lot, because they've only had 2 NFTs, which is just C3PO and R2-D2. And I think that's another interesting thought too, is like when these came out, obviously people were freaking out about golden moments. So as you can see here, like they started at 600 and they pumped all the way up to 2.2K or 2.3, and we're like, oh my God, that is so much money. That is, back then, that was an absurd amount of money. Of course, it went down, it's plateaued, it's just kind of done a whole lot of nothing for two months. And then now we have new people on the platform. We got whales and people looking at these golden R2s and golden C3POs for the first time. They're just like, dude, it's a golden C3PO. Like, how are people not buying this? And they buy it up, you know? So there's whales coming in here, seeing it for the first time. And like, we've already been staring at it for 2 months, and we've seen a bunch of other drops happen in the meantime. And we're like, oh yeah, the golden moments, like whatever. Like, no, we're gonna focus on Todd, a Secret Rare Spider-Man, and this and that. Like, we're looking at so many other things. All the new people are coming in and are like, oh, I'm a Star Wars fan. Like, dude, they have a golden C3PO and R2. Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. So that's kind of an interesting thought too. I think they'll rock it when the new movie comes out, so I might grab some more. Yeah. What would you say a 155 SR Snow Globe is worth? I would say if you're trying to get rid of it and you want to trade it for, like I said, other golden moments, or I'm not exactly sure. I would just look at what the other ones that are priced between like 100 to 200 are. I wouldn't say undercut all of them, but just try and find a price that you think would get it sold pretty quickly. I mean, actually, let me look it up on my phone right now. What is the SR Snow Globe Coke going for? And again, like, this is just my recommendation. I'm not saying list it for this much. I'll probably give you like a range and like whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of experience with like low mint stuff. I'm kind of upset because during 12 days of VV, there was one day where I saw a number 64 Silver Ape on market for like 1.1K. And this is when Silver Monkey was at like 550. and it was double the price. I saw it. I'm like, God, should I buy this? Like, it's a low mint, but like it's double the price, which is like really low. But I don't know. Like, I don't like, how would I sell it? And you know, this and that. And like, what if Monkey just stays there for a while and like I can't get rid of it and I'm trying to get profit and I have to sell it for like 1,400? Like, thinking all this stuff, and then sure enough, it's gone. And then now it pumped up to like 1K, and I'm like, well, great. Okay, let's look at the secret rare really quick. Sorry, I can't pull this up. I probably could pull it up on the screen, but I'd have to hook up some cords. Mint's low to high, so 155. Okay, so there's some crazy ranges in here. It's just funny when you look at some of the sub 100 mints. It goes anywhere between like 3K to like 110,000, or like a million. It's hard to say. Because there's a 137 for 3K, and there's a 106 for 3.5K. I mean, if you're trying to get rid of it quickly, you would have to undercut those. Because I doubt that there's going to be people, because people are going to go on there and try and find the best value for the lowest mint, right? The lowest mint for the best value, I mean, either way, but. So, I mean, I just saw those two mints, I saw those two prices, and it's like, if you're gonna have to sell, you're gonna have to go cheaper than that. At least if you want to sell it quickly. Or you can always hodl it. Secret Rare Coke is an amazing hold. Michael yeah, sorry, I just jumped down in chat. Let's go up. Neva STG Anthony finally got 800 gems, and now all the Disney drops are out of reach. Shaking my head, dude. I feel you. That's how I feel with Todd. Todd literally went up 11K in like 10 days. Like every day it was going up 1,000 on average. Some of those days were huge jumps, but on average, that's basically what Todd did. Krog Mode says 63 at 800. Damn, that's a steal. Yes, in my opinion, it is. Neva says, do you think Cartoon Network NFTs are a good investment right now? I think so. Like I said before, between Fid Mertens and Jake the Dog, there's only 12,000 mints. They're hovering around 200 gems right now, and considering that like all the other, and I realized like, I think that's another thing you have to kind of realize too, is like everyone is so gun-ho about Disney, Marvel, and DC and stuff like that, but like there's, according to the Cartoon Network thing that I looked up not too long ago, is like there was like on average about 3 million viewers for like Adventure Time, and that's all kinds of age groups and stuff as well, and it's the second series ever released. I think it's extremely undervalued, and I don't say the word like undervalued like lightly, like you said, like you've seen me before. I've said it's a very arbitrary thing, but I do think it wouldn't surprise me if they jump up to like 550, 600 soon. VV Changing Live says, Josh Brunstetter, I agree. Michael James, thoughts on Rare Spider-Man? I did that one a bit earlier. Did I do that a bit earlier? Sold Wally for 450, but it's the only reason I had enough gems for Walt worked out. Yeah, that's a little bit of a story, in case you guys don't know kind of like where I started. That's exactly what I did, except with Elsa. So I sold my Elsa so I could have enough for Walt, and I was one of the lucky few that scored a Walt, and I don't have it anymore. I sold it. But yeah, but selling Walt enabled me to have a lot of opportunities and flip a lot of stuff. Do I wish I kept it? Not really, because I honestly did not have a lot of money at that time to put into VV, and I still kind of don't now. But it gave me a ton of experience. I didn't want to ride my whole VV like experience on just Walt, like, and just riding the wave of like, oh my god, is Walt gonna pump it? And like, even if it did, like, it's my only NFT. Like, what am I gonna do? Just hold it for 5 years and just like wait for all the other NFTs and drops to just like go by me? Like, no, like I wanted to sell it. I thought there was a good point that I did sell it, and it was a good point. I did sell it. It went down. It stayed down for like a month, but then it just pumped up and just couldn't recoup it. Pixel Trader says Rare Spider-Man looks the same as Secret Rare, but a fifth of the price. Wonder if it'll pump extra for that reason. It's definitely like, if you like the Secret Rare, but you literally don't have 6 digits in your wallet, to pay for it and you want kind of like a more discounted version, I would say yes. As well, same thing goes with like Steamboat Willie. Like Steamboat Willie's animated and all that stuff, but like if you can't afford 10 grand, there's the whistle uncommon. There's like the one he's just standing there smiling common. Like you could still have that experience or still have like the collectible without having a fat wallet to have it, right? All right, that's the second person that asked about Spider-Man, so I'll pull up the rare Spider-Man and talk about that. Where is the rare Spider-Man? This one, jumping into action. Okay, so he's gone up 13%. It's a good looking NFT. Actually all the Spider-Man NFTs look great, and they are all very. I actually forgot to do this. There we go. Oh no. I mean, that's not even accurate though. Like I've honestly have made a lot of moves recently, so that could be up a lot or down a lot. I'm not exactly sure. I would have to like re-update my vault because a lot of things have moved. Spider-Man jump into action. Let's see where he's at. I like what he's doing. These are doing pretty well, and I think, like I said before, especially the one of the same series of that secret rare Spider-Man, I think are gonna follow suit of the price relatively closely. I don't think it's gonna be like the ultra rare isn't always gonna be in step a fourth of the price of the secret rare. But if the secret rare keeps going up, the ultra rare will get pulled up with it. Same thing with the rare, and then the uncon, and then all of a sudden the zombie hunters do well. Then the Ben Rileys, they're all, in my opinion, I think they're all connected in a way. And people like myself, and I'm a lot of you guys too, probably. It's like when something is moving, you don't want to chase the pump. What's something that's adjacent to that NFT that's either the same IP or a similar, or the exact same hero, but just somewhere else. Like look at Sue Storm Wonder Woman. Like Sue Storm was announced, not Wonder Woman. Sue Storm was announced, and then all of a sudden the Marvel Mighty's version just skyrocketed. Of course, it was extremely short-lived, but it just blew up. People are just trying to take advantage of what other people think they're going to do. Would you say Spider-Man for 700 or 750 is worth it at the moment? Which one? Which Spider-Man? Spider-Man hanging out? That's over 800, so it's probably not that one. Not exactly sure which one you're talking about. Nevea? Am I pronouncing that correctly? If I am mispronouncing that, I apologize. Beyond the Fan, Homer and Bart has a good story. First GM, first duo, first signed. Longer term people buy art with a good history. That is true. It's just gonna, I think it will take it's actually gonna take a while because there's people that like art, and there's gonna be people that like NFT art, but that art is gonna have to take time to mature, right? We're gonna need a lot of art pieces and a lot of NFT history to be released. Imagine 10 or 15 years from now, people are like, oh yeah, remember the first signed one was Bart, and the first duo was Bart and Homer and all that stuff. That is true. I do think that could be a thing in the future, but I think as of right now, immediately, I don't think people are gonna buy Homer and Bart because it has a signature on it. Either you care about The Simpsons a lot and you want to buy it and you think it's gonna go up, or you don't. I don't think a signature is gonna make or break it, in my opinion. Comics are pumping right now. Oh, for sure. Where do these new people come from in suddenly from January? I think after 12 days of VV, it seems like after a big announcement, more people join in, right? And especially, that's what I did with my friends. I kind of told my friends about VV before, but when 12 days of VV happened, I'm like, dude, 12 days of VV, there's a bunch of drops happening. Because if you're not on VV, if you're on VV and there's for the first time and there's not a lot going on, there's all right, there's 2 comic drops that you'll probably lose, and there's one normal drop that you probably will lose. It feels kind of boring, right? But if you join in during an event and there's a drop pretty much every day or multiple drops a day, it's exciting, right? That's when I started, was golden moments. It was nuts. And then afterward, it was so slow. People were like, I have all these gems. What do I do with it? It's slow. All right, I'm gonna buy this and buy that. And that's exactly what happened with 12 days of VV, except I think a lot of people that joined in after 12 days of VV, and a lot of people were liquidating stuff too to afford Steamboat Willie and different stuff like that. And they have all these gems. They're sitting on a stack, and they don't have anything to buy. And that's probably the first thing that a lot of people ask when they get on the app. If you are a whale, if you are going to put down a lot of money on VV, hey, what are the best ones? Oh yeah, everyone talks about Spider-Man, everyone talks about Todd, everyone talks about Steamboat Willie, everyone talks about the golden moments. Golden moments took a little bit longer to catch up, but like, what were the first ones to pump? Like, after 12 days of Eevee, all the blue chips. Like, it wasn't Kripkins, it wasn't Dragon Girls, it wasn't I don't know, some other like non-blue chip ones. Like, it was the blue chips that pumped first. V Vibes, Jay says, V Vibes, I think Star Wars is the FA, that's why there'll be increase in price. Okay, so increase in price when there are new Star Wars NFTs. Yep, I agree too. And as more NFTs are released of that same IP and or character, the originals are going to be worth more, because people are always going to reference the first appearance of whatever it is, right? Sarah says, I thought about taking profits on Homer and rolling to a common Spider-Man and laughing Batman, but the floors both exploded, so Bart is safe for now. I would say so. And if you do, and try and find some NFTs like in that same price range of around 2K, maybe 2.5, 1.5. And when a time does come when Homer and Bart does well, or like you could find a way to 1-for-1 it basically, you could always take advantage of that too. Because it sounds like you wanted to liquidate. I'm kind of curious what you wanted to try to get, Sarah, if you were trying to like liquidate Homer and Bart for something else. Shouldn't be selling those Coca-Colas long-term hold. And that's the thing, like, not everyone is in it for a long-term hold. Like, everyone says long-term hodl until there's a big announcement and people need to liquidate stuff, or until they see that, let's just say the, trying to like think of an example here. Like, let's say Adventure Time, like, Marlene and like Ice King, like everything but Finn and Jake the dog starts pumping. Like, they'll start pumping ridiculously high. People are going to start like, oh my God, I want to jump on this train. They start liquidating stuff that were going to be long-term hodls in exchange for something else, right? That's probably a terrible example, but that's the thing. Long-term hold means something different for everyone. And that's the other thing too. It's like, you have to have enough gems, in my opinion, left over to actually play the game of Eevee, play the drops, look for quick flips, find some discounts on the market, underpriced stuff. Like, you should do that. I don't think VV is, in my opinion, meant to be experienced. At least if you want to be active on it, buy, like, spend every gem you have on NFTs and just watch. Like, there's drops and it's like, oh, whatever. Like, you can do that if you want. I mean, I guess if you're not planning on putting in any more money, but it's a pretty boring if you're not able to play the drops and you spend everything on like just NFTs. R2D2, one of the best pick on the app. Yep. Undervalued, says Michael Stevens. Yeah, JP Lavoie. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Yeah, R2D2 is one of the best. Mr. Onions, does a mint of 2021 for a Marvel 1 released last year help its value? Is a mint of 2021? Maybe. I do think people that are looking for those like very particular like years, like year marks of, you know, I don't know when like Todd McFarlane's like birthday is, but if you got like Todd McFarlane's birth year on like a Todd, does it make it worth more? Yes, but like you're gonna have to explain it. You're gonna have to find someone that puts value on that. And yeah, so I think maybe, probably not, but maybe. I think I'll just hold the globe. Should easily triple, if not more, by Christmas. Yeah, and I do think all of the, I mean, they're already pumping right now, but I do think the Christmas NFTs will be worth more now. They'll kind of be their own FAs in a way, where it's like they are the first appearance of like the festive NFTs, and like who knows, 2 or 3 Christmases from now, it's like, oh, do you have the snow globe? Do you have the Deadpool? Do you have the Steamboat Willie isn't festive, but you know, do you have the stamps? You know, it's like the stamps were also a big deal. Wonder Woman? We'll look up Wonder Woman real quick. Frederick Cormont, yes. Wonder Woman up, yeah, dude, she exploded. I remember when it was a huge deal when she got up to 400 when she was released. I remember selling her at like 285 when I bought her. I was trying to flip it, right? So I think I bought her at like 110 and I flipped her for 170 whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I made my flip. I'm done for the day. Plus, I've been staring at my phone for an hour straight post-market. Like, all right, I'm going to go. I come back and, like, she's at 400 or, like, low or, like, high 300s. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman's doing great. I think she's obviously probably one of the, if not the most popular female superheroes that's like on the app right now. So yeah, she's doing pretty well for herself. I could definitely see her going to 2K in like the near future, in my opinion. JP Lavore, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna say JP. What do you guys think of the first variant comic covers commissioned exclusively for VV? Like Fantastic Four 13 rare, ultra rare. I do think those will be a big deal because again, they're exclusive to VV, right? So the common covers is probably what your everyday person's gonna want. I mean, now the everyday person can even afford some of the higher tier comics, but yeah, I definitely think they'll be worth something, especially since they're also just innately low mint because they are typically rare, ultra rare, secret rare. Yeah, and again, I do think that market will take time to mature. Like people, comic book collectors that want VV cover art, like exclusive VV cover art, that could just take some time to mature. But again, it does seem like a lot of the actual comic book collectors, like those guys are used to like buying a comic and waiting like 5, 10, 15 years for it to mature. They're like, all right, I'm gonna invest 2K now in this comic, and like maybe in like 5 years it might go up to like 4K, you know, or whatever it is. Like I don't know, I'm not a comic book collector. I'm kind of just taking some of the stuff I've heard Sleeping in Comics say, but like those guys are used to long-term hodling. Like that's what they're used to. Sorry, sometimes like the chat gets a bit wonky here. Oof, yeah, I'm definitely, gosh, once I scroll down to the bottom, then all of a sudden the chat updated, so I need to catch up here. So sorry if I kind of brush over it. I'm a fan of like trying to at least like stay up with chat, right? Igor says, thoughts on stamps? It's just not exciting. Plus they got that 4.5% fee. And I feel like the majority of stamp collectors, maybe their age bracket probably isn't on something like VV. They might, but then again, like I said too, it's in that weird zone. Like I remember buying a few stamps not too long ago. I actually sold a few recently, and it's just awkward. It's more of a thing than a model or like a person, right, or a character. Kind of like what Randy Chavez has said before. I think people are more excited, and plus again, the VV app itself is just very, very into DC, Marvel, Disney, all that stuff. I do think some of the other things would do better off platform. I'm not sure how the US government feels about selling their stuff off platform, but I mean, you never know. I think the first series stamps will do great, and the other series will be good for the Master Collector program. I agree, JP. It's a pretty easy set to complete, I believe. Kodras? Jorgo or Horgo? Koras? Kodras. Good God, I cannot pronounce names. I want to buy the ultra rare steamboat, but can only get 350 gem at the time. Is there a way to get more than 350 at a time? Also, what are your thoughts on the steamboat set? Steamboat set is people, and I think just the fact that like a lot of other content creators have labeled ultra rare Steamboat Willie as a blue chip, like formally, like that's the other thing too. The community is the one that puts the label blue chip on things, right? And especially since VV is so new, I do think some of the bigger name content creators do drive a lot of the market and the excitement, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, Discord, or whatever it is. Typically Twitter for the most part, as well as YouTube. So there's some big name people that aren't just content creators, but just big name people that do drive a lot of the market. Yeah, I'm bullish on Steamboat Willie. I'm kind of upset I didn't take advantage of selling my ultra rare when it first dropped, when it got to like 6K, and that was when Todd was like 3.3, I think. I thought about, like, dude, I should probably just sell my Steamboat Willie, buy a Todd, and I'll still have like 2,000 gems left over, but I didn't for whatever reason. Again, everyone just thinks that the prices are going to be the same forever, but I think now with the amount of movement that's happening, some people might be overcorrecting on some of these NFTs. But if you can do more than the 350 at a time, not that I know of, to be honest, I haven't even put that much money into VV. I've never had to put more than like 400 gems in at once, so I'm not sure how that plays out. So my low mint UR SBW, I'm trying to remember what that is. For 5.5K to get gems to complete the Murmacorno set. Next few days, it doubled. Part of the VV game, all good. Hell yeah. UR SBW. It's probably super obvious, but I forgot what that is. Steamboat Willie. Low mint, ultra rare Steamboat Willie for 5.5K. Yeah, that was probably a while ago, I'd imagine. Like Steamboat is a great choice. Ben Riley uncommons were under 100 like 2 months ago. Like a month ago. Okay, 2 months ago they were under 100. But I remember buying 2 at 170. And when it pumped to like 280, 300, I'm like, oh, like, dude, these have doubled in price. That's crazy. I'm going to sell one. And then it went to 350, 400. I'm like, these have got to be done. So I sold my last one at 450. And sure enough, it just kept pumping. Went all the way up to 800. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But it was just the low mints. That's honestly something I completely overlooked, was how low the mints the Ben Rileys were. Wonder Woman, extremely undervalued. I'm planning to rebuy Ultra Rare Steamboat Willie when I get rich. I do think, even though it is considered a blue chip, I do think something like if you had to pick between an entire Murmur set, which could be difficult to get. But yeah, you could probably rebuy into like Steamboat Willie. It just depends on like how long. Neva, you said it perfect. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Definitely subscribing at an NFT for like 1 mil so I can follow you. I don't know if you did that already. I haven't. Honestly, I've been pretty lazy when it comes to the social media stuff. Like, I didn't even tweet about this. I probably should have tweeted like, hey, I'm live and I'm talking about the market for the most part. But I also like just talking as well. Like, as much as I like using the economy.wiki, sometimes it's fun just to like speculate and talk about the market instead of like having to look up every little thing. You think Marvel's comic won a buy? Maybe. It depends on how many you're trying to buy. If you're just trying to buy one, I mean, I think it's at like 18 gems right now or something like that. I like, sure. Like the common. But if you're like trying to stack them and like you want to buy like 10 or 15, I do think that you might as well just get a collectible for that amount. I do think, I think it was Sleeping in Comics did say that there was like whoever did the cover art of Marvel Comics, not Marvel Comic one. Marvel Comics one. Okay, so there's Marvel's #1 and there's Marvel Comics. So I'm assuming you mean Marvel Comic. It's pumping really hard right now. I do think there will be people are already trying to sell it off right now, I believe. Like, people are already trying to take their profits on Marvel Comics. So maybe I would wait till the dip. Marvel Comics, that's the secret rare. So then there's Marvel's. Marvel Comics #1. But thanks for saying that, Neva. I appreciate that. It's always nice. I just started the channel not too long ago. I feel like I've done a pretty good job like flipping and doing stuff on the market. Been a little lazy with like... I actually prefer streams over making videos, just in my opinion, because I can actually interact with people a bit more. But yeah. It's just... Marvel's right now is just pumping right now. I'm if you ask me about like chasing pumps, like I'm probably gonna say no like 90% of the time, but then every once in a while I will say like, all right, I think like even though it is pumping, it's still undervalued, like then go for it. Marvel Comics, I'd wait for it to retrace. We would have to wait for a new market update, I believe. Actually, it might be updated by now, so let's kind of back out of the market. I'm not sure if I actually need to do that, like back all the way out, but we'll just to kind of make sure. Let's do this. If you guys found any of this information useful, I'd appreciate it if you guys like, comment, subscribe. Like, I've released videos, there hasn't been like that many comments, which I didn't expect there to be, but I just love like chatting people up like in the comments, and like it's still going up. I think it's got to be updated by now. Maybe I might have to refresh it one more time, but yeah, this is crazy again. But I'm not a huge fan of chasing pumps, so right now I would say no. But Mr. Onion says, imagine when there's literally any press for VV. Very true, very true. Frederick Cormont says, Kim Kazma, I bought 3 around 900 gems. Don't know what that is. Kim Kazma. Beyond the Fan, do you think people who hold 6 of 6 of this Comics Week's drop will be airdrop something? Unlikely. Marvel hasn't shown any signs of like doing airdrops and stuff. It's mostly been independent artists that have kind of expressed interest in that. Maybe just because like Marvel and Disney and all that stuff like don't want to tie up with the whole like airdrop thing and who gets it, and like I have no idea. I would say unlikely. I don't want to say no. I mean, it's more than zero, but I do think it is on the low end of likelihood of that it's going to happen, especially if there's like different amount of mint numbers, and plus that's a lot of airdrops too. Especially since it seems like most of the comics are going to be 30,000 editions. So I do think it is cool that they're doing the first set, and I think at some point it would be really cool if EV allowed people to sell sets. So basically you go on someone's profile, on their profile you can actually sell sets, like, hey, I have this comic book set, I have this Marvel Mighty set, I have the Voltron set, I'm selling these two NFTs that are similar. You know, let's say you did a certain Batman and like the Jim Lee Joker, and they're both the same mint. Like, that's cool. Like, that's a cool set. It's not so doing a great job keeping up with chat for sure. Thank you. I try to. I know there's some things that ask a question and I like to explain it a bit more. I should probably pop that out so you guys can see. But I like to try and keep up with chat. This isn't my first time streaming, like, ever. I used to stream. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played Hearthstone, the Blizzard like card game. Hearthstone. I remember playing that, and that was a really chill game to stream, because you could play your hand and then you would have like a full minute to just read chat and shoot the shit. And I don't know, I like trying to keep up with chat, but I realize some questions just do take a long time to explain, and you kind of go on a rant. So can you look up Pizza Planet Truck? I would love to. What about it? Just it's that boy Keo. What's up, Keo? Pizza Planet Truck. Damn, really? I got a rare for retail, so I'm not worried. But that's weird though. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I skipped Mr. Onion's comment. Rare Daredevil with 2,350 mints being the same as common 21,000 mints is hilarious. That's a good buy. If that is actually the case, I should probably switch this to collectibles and then change that. Yeah, I mean, if you find things like that, Mr. Like, I don't really look at the comics, so that kind of stuff I do overlook very easily. But yeah, like that could be potentially like a good investment opportunity. Pizza Planet Truck is doing very well right now. It's been slow and steady, but it has been on an increase. I do picture something like Pizza Planet Truck, now that the fact that it's basically the same price of something like FA Harley Quinn. It's kind of approaching things like FA Joker, so people might be looking to trade this one for one. But again, that 8.5% fee is brutal. So if you did sell this Pizza Planet Truck for $1,600, you're looking at getting something closer to like $1,450 or something like that. So you want to get the full amount. Obviously, it's not like the 2.5%, but Pizza Planet Truck is looking pretty good, and it doesn't seem like anyone's like taking profits anytime soon, but it could happen. For now, I would hodl just because like all the gold moments are pumping really well, but that's just me personally. Terrence Green. Sorry, I skipped that. Igor, would you sell 2 Todds to buy a Walt statue? No. Personally. I think Todd still has a lot of room to move. That's hard, actually. You could do basically what oh my gosh, what's his name? Cody Thrive said. You could sell 2 Todds, get a Walt, wait for Walt to pump, and then now Walt is worth 3 Todds, and you could basically sell that off, buy 3 Todds. Like, if you can do it off app, not off app, but yeah, if you can do it off app, you could save a bunch of money doing that. Obviously it's shady, you're dealing with escrows and stuff like that, but like if you do have connections off app, like that could be a legitimate thing. But if you're doing it all in app, Todds are just pumping so well, and I do think if there is any kind of community related utility, I do think it's gonna be more around Todd than Walt, in my opinion. That's just me, I would say. So like, I do think the exclusivity of having a Todd will be a big deal. A lot of the VVOGs, you're gonna have celebrities getting Todd Batman and all that stuff. Like, not, I think there's a lot of Walt Disney fans, but it's like you also have to have a Walt Disney fan that also can afford a $30,000 NFT. But there's a lot of Disney fans, and like there probably are quite a few. It's more affordable, let's just say. I don't know. But also the fact that you have 2 Todds is insane. So good on you, dude. Congrats on getting 2 Todds. Robert Desmond Warner says, if I were to estimate the number of collectors worldwide, 50K mints doesn't seem so many. Definitely not. I'm trying to remember. I think I looked up online somewhere that it said like there was like in the US alone, there was like 150,000 people that considered themselves like pretty like above your average comic book collector. There's like 150,000 people in just the US that consider themselves to be like actual comic book collectors. I'm not sure what that actual definition meant. Like, are they collecting so many a month, or is their net worth, you know, invested in comics versus whatever? But it's like just the US alone, there's like 150,000 people that consider themselves comic book collectors. So there's that, and that's just the US, let alone around the world, right? Robert says again, I had 7 and sold Laughing for 60. Oof, dude, Laughing, dude, I'm really upset. I didn't even take my own advice. I was like, buy Zombie Hunter Spider-Man and buy Laughing Batman, because Laughing Batman's awesome. He's one of the most unique looking characters as well. He's one of the most interesting characters that DC's kind of introduced in decades, in my opinion. And he's like less than 5 years old. Pixel Trader says, earn a new sub here. Love this live stream. We'll check out your videos too. I appreciate that. Yeah, most of my videos are going to be on like the Ecomi Wiki, talking about what's gone up, what's gone down. And then I typically like to try my best to talk about what are some other NFTs you can look at right now that they're going to be pumping, because everyone's looking at Golden Moments and this and that, but it's like, what are people not looking at? Are people looking at Adventure Time? Are people looking at Dick Sprang Joker? That's kind of hidden in, you know, in the rough. Are people looking at like, who was it? Mr. Onion said about Rare Daredevil. Like, I don't really look at comics. That's probably like one of the last things I look at. Yeah, but there are diamonds in the rough, and especially since the people's attention shifts focus, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, you know, the Eye of Sauron. Like, you know, it can only look in so many spots, but you can't look at the whole market at the same time. So if you can look where basically the eye isn't looking, that's where you can make the money, in my opinion. It's that boy Keo says, so we all have MCP points, or is this something that's going to be really... We've been accumulating Master Collector points since you've created your account. It's just being recorded, but it's not actually live just yet. So anything and everything you're doing, except for all like the likes, comments, replies, I think that's not live until the actual program is live, because you can get up to like 25 points a day by doing that. So as far as I know, like liking an NFT or commenting on it or replying on a feed or posting a feed video or whatever, I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think you actually get points for those until MCP is live. But everything else, like the whole collecting thing, like you do get points for. It's retroactive, that's the term. Gooseneck says, who's buying up all the common Groots? It's got a few walls, doesn't it? Last I saw, there was a lot of Groots. Yeah, dude, Groots are going up. I'm surprised. I remember there was multiple walls. There was like a wall at 40, 43, like 47, and like something else. There was like 3 massive walls at those price points, but someone's, you know, they're stacking them. I mean, shoot, the uncommon, I would, in my opinion, I would stack the uncommon. I mean, as far as I know, and I think I mentioned this in my last video too, like I think Uncommon Groot is the only animated uncommon, even though it's just the lights. I think it's the only animated uncommon on the app, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Some people say the Invisible Woman Marvel Mighty because their hands like kind of glow or whatever, but I don't think she actually has the animated tag on the NFT itself. But I could be wrong about that. JP says, since the 6 Spider-Man comics drops are part of the story, wish they had a 500k editions and they would make. Sorry, let me backtrack. Story, wish they would have had 500k editions, and then they would make them scarce as each drop comes out. Then to make more money for Marvel / VV. I think they more burn. I think Marvel and VV know what they're doing when it comes to this, and like this is obviously not the first set that. You know, VV and Marvel have been doing comics on VV for a while now, and they didn't experiment with 1,000 editions, obviously, shortly after the 12 days or like earlier this month. People had mixed reactions about it. Yeah. So I trust what they know what they're doing. And again, I'm not very bullish on comics. I have legitimately only won 2 comics, and I started on VV like 4 months ago. 3.5, I would say. because I started in, maybe it's like 2.5. Oh my God. Okay, maybe it's approaching 3 months, regardless. Because I started during like Disney golden moments. Where was I going? I was going somewhere with this comment. I forgot. Oh yeah, comics. Since I started, I've only won like 2 comics ever. And I've tried timing, I've tried a line gate, I've tried the timing thing with like a metronome. I've tried everything. Tapping fast, timing it. I've only gotten 2 comics, and I've literally never got a rebound. I've never got a rebound. I don't want to say it's, you know, I mean, if I haven't seen it happen, then it hasn't happened. But I've seen people get rebounds. I've had friends that have gotten rebounds. I've seen the rebound button show up by now, but I've never gotten one. So it does get, like, it's kind of that thing where, like, you see someone get a drop, like in Discord or in YouTube or whatever. They're like, oh, W, or I got a rebound on this. I'm like, hey, good job. I've never gotten a rebound, but it happens. I'm always happy for people, though. Like, it sucks that I don't get rebounds. I'm just very good on the blind box collectible drops, because all I have to do is just spam that space between those 2 bars, right? And I've been gaming for a long time, so I got fast fingers and I can tap very quickly. Like, I'm good at those, but when it comes to like trying to time like my internet and my latency and speed and like the screen, and like even there are times where I'm like, I do it, at least in my mind, perfectly well, still don't get the drop. So I've sadly kind of like mentally given up on comics. So that might be part of the reason subconsciously why I've like don't really watch or care for comics, but it's good though. Because like if you can get good on those comic drops, it's basically passive income. If you can win 50% of the drops, that means you win 1 comic a week. You know, even if you get a comment, I mean, you get, you know, 10 or 15 gem profit or something like that. If you get anything better than that, that's gravy. But more burn. Gooseneck says had to go 15 deep to buy one. Had to go 15 deep to buy. Really? They're flying that fast, huh? That's crazy. Of the Groots. How's number 11 Harley? Let's look it up really quick. Just dude, number 11. Hopefully I should pull it up. Hell yeah. That is a cool looking one. That's the FA though, right? I believe this is no, the FA is the black and white. This is one of the more, I'd say, more classic looking Harleys. It's a good look. I like it. There's almost as many Harleys as there are Batmans, right? There's quite a few, which is why I'm so bullish on Jim Lee. Or not Jim Lee, Joker. I always like just say Jim Lee as the FA, but there are 2 Jokers, obviously. Both are great. I think both right now are incredible investments. If you're tight on gems, get Dick Sprang. If you want something a bit longer term and you can afford it, I would get Jim Lee. Mr. Onions, how do you read those graphs with the blue and pink lines? Well, the blue lines are total listings, and the pink lines are the price value of it. So when you see something like this, sorry. Oof. So when you see the price go up and as well as the total listings go down, obviously people are buying them up, so listings are going down, prices are going up. And then at this point, people started taking profits, right? So the price stopped at 135. The listings does kind of get a little difficult to, I'm trying to show like very small nuances, so you know it's a bit different, but like you see that list go up, right? You see the blue go up. That means people are now listing it because it's increased, because probably a bunch of people bought around here. 75, it goes up to 135, like wow, I've doubled my money, I'm gonna start selling them, which is why it went from 152 listings all the way up to 210. So you had like 50 people, or 50 listings, let's say. It could be 50 people, it could be 20 people with multiples, whatever it is. They started listing them, which is why the price went down. There's a solid wall of whatever listings and it goes down. Now it's going down again. 210, 132. So we had 70, more than that. Yeah, we had 79 listings get bought up or delisted or whatever. That's another thing. It's kind of hard to tell. It's like, are they all genuinely bought up? Or, and I've done this before, where like, let's say the floor of an NFT is 75. Let's say I list it for 100. I notice the floor starts rising really quickly. It's like, oh my God, it's already at 92. I'll just unlist my 100 because it's flying right now. Like, I don't know where it's going to stop. Like, it could go up to 150. Who knows? So some people will unlist, and on here, it might show like a sale, but you're just not sure, right? It's really hard to tell. But yeah, like that's Harley. I think this is, it's one of my favorite looking ones. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite one of the Harleys. I do like the if I could spell it right, Harley. I don't know why I was trying to put a V in there. I do like this one a lot too. Number 12. If it'll load. There it is. I do like this one a lot. Obviously, the other Harley I showed was a bit more of a classical look. Not a huge fan of like the bombshells or like the black and white red. I mean, they look all right. Steve Pugh looks awesome, but good God, that's expensive. One of the lowest mint NFTs on the platform, 500. This one right here, if you guys haven't seen it, it's definitely one of the more most unique looking. I'd say it's on the VV app. It is the most unique looking Harley Quinn, but FA Harley Quinn is a pretty cool look. Yeah, there's a lot of Harleys. Yeah, it might be just shy, like one NFT of being like having more than Batman. Nathan Prada. Yeah, Nathan Prada. Have you guys noticed that posting items to the market and removing them are taking 12 to 13 minutes to update? Really? I have not noticed that. At least like I did sell some stuff earlier. Some stuff I kind of wish I didn't, but yeah, I didn't notice it would take like 12 to 13 minutes. It was usually pretty quick. Sometimes I would unlist it and it would say like, this needs to be listed in order for you to unlist. It was kind of a weird error, but all I did was like go back to the home screen, go back to my NFT, then unlist it. I did have like that kind of error, but I didn't have anything that took like 15 minutes to unlist. JP says, Lifetime Disney Club, 33 member. Don't know. About what? Oh, like Marvel and VV, like the comics? Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Spider-Man ever going back down? VV needs to announce like a big name IP to have any kind of retracement happen, at least like heavy retracement happen on things like Spider-Man or Golden Moments or anything like that right now. Because I think right now people have gems, they want to buy stuff. I'll be honest, I've FOMO'd into a couple different things. I'm like trying to like reallocate a lot of like my resources on my NFTs and stuff. I'm like, all right, all these NFTs. And I'll be honest, it is a nice feeling instead of having 30 to 50 NFTs with that are a wide variety. You try to keep price updates of this, like, all right, do I sell this and flip for that? But like this is pumping, and like there is a bit of relief when you kind of just pick a small handful of things. You either buy one because it's expensive, and you know, let's say you buy a Jim Lee Joker, but like now you can just stack one or two other NFTs. Now you only have to keep track of 3 prices. Like you just have to keep track of the Joker, those 1 or 2 things you stacked, and like that's it. At least if you're like just focused on profit and not so much collecting. And you look at other things, you're like, oh, that's pumping. That's kind of nice. I thought about that, but like, well, all my money's here, so it's not that big of a deal. It does get tiring, just constantly flipping and constantly trying to sell this little one-off NFT you bought because you thought it would pump, and it kind of did, and like you wanted more profit, but it could pump, and it's like, just simplify it, in my opinion. And I think that's why some of these prices have gone up a lot, because people have taken up the strategy of just stacking. You know, it's like, oh, look at this Harley Quinn. You know, she's expensive, but someone might have just bought 2 or 3 of her, and then someone else does the same thing, and all of a sudden now the price goes up much quicker. Mr. Onion, Dick Spring Joker is rare. People get this right. I know it's not designated FA, but holy crap, so few mints and $840. Yep, you can almost compare it to you can kind of compare it to this. What was the first set? Like literally ever. Which is, let's see. I gotta load them more. It's because I have Batman in. Which is Todd and Rizzo, right? That's an ultra rare, but still less than half the mints. Like that's a similar set. It's not the exact same scenario. I mean, these were 2 standalone NFTs, so it's just those 2, and I understand there's others with like the Dick Spring Joker as well as the Jim Lee Joker, but like that's the comparison, right? At least in my head. They're not going to pump this high. That's not what I'm saying, but like I do think Jim Lee will be a higher price than Dick Spring, like overall, even though Dick Spring is a rare, like, but he'll always be right behind Jim Lee, in my opinion. But who knows? It could flip. like, who knows? It's hard to say, but yes, I completely agree, Mr. Onions. Now you're kind of making me regret. I should have bought those instead of some other stuff. I could probably still afford like 1 or 2 of those, but I decided to stack some other NFTs. Wow, Comet Spider-Man, almost 1.5K, not slowing down. I'm sure others will follow the pump too, says Pixel Trader. What is going on with Spider-Man? And that's the other thing too, like, dude, all the Spider-Mans, if any one of these pump quite a bit, whoops. Spider-Man. If any of these pump, I'll just grab one. I'll just grab the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. Anytime any of these pump like really hard, people are immediately just going to look at the other ones. People are like, oh my god, the common one is pumping, which is what, this one, right? Common's at 1.3. Holy crap. That is solid. So now that this is pumping, where else are going to people look? People are going to look at Ben Reilly. People are going to look at the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. Because as far as I know, well, this Spider-Man is one of the most unique looking ones. He does have the Doctor Strange cape on, and he's part of like the No Way Home and all that stuff. Like that is Into the Spider-Verse and all that stuff. Sorry, not No Way Home. Like the newest movie, like all this is part of it. So I think, and they all feed into each other, right? So I do think like when one of the Spider-Mans pumps, people look at the other ones because they're like, oh, like this is already pumping. I want to buy this other one while it pumps. And like Spider-Man is just going nuts right now. It's probably it's the number one superhero within the last decade for sure, maybe 15 years. I don't think it took off a ton when like Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man. Like it was definitely popular, but like not to the level it is now, especially when you integrated like the most recent Spider-Man movie as well as like the Marvel, like the MCU. Spider-Man seems to be the king. I would say so. But I would just give a little bit more time to some of the DC ones. Like I said, I'm very bullish on some of the DC ones. I love the 2.5% fee. I like Joker because again, there's only 2, but there's like 6 Harleys, 8 Batmans, but there's only 2 Jokers. Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, I think is, you know, it's the last affordable one that's on the market is Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. It's the only one that's less than what is the cheap? I should have looked that up. What is the cheap other than Zombie Hunter? What is the cheapest Spider-Mans on the market? Spider-Man, he's a menace. So 300, yeah. Unless you want to buy zombie, if you don't want Zombie Hunter Spider-Mans, you're gonna have to fork over 770 gems. That's the next cheapest one, which is Ben Reilly, followed by Spider-Man Uncommon hanging out. Yep, that's where we're at now. It's just crazy to think how much everything has changed. David did an oopsie says. I was 1 second away from coping that Harley at 80. Yeah, everyone is saying that, dude. Trust me, I'm right in that same boat with you. There's so many times where I'm like, wow, like Laughing Batman's at 69 gems. Like I think it was either that or Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. It might have been Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. Was that like 69 gems? Yeah, like right here, January 3rd. And he was at 100 on the 7th. And he showed no signs of slowing down. Like there's no heavy retracement. Like, I mean, 30 listings isn't that much. And so that's kind of the thing. I probably should have spent more time looking at Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. I was so focused on like Steamboat Willie and all these other ones that were pumping like crazy. But yeah, so even someone like me needs to kind of keep an eye on certain stuff on here. Beyond the Fan says Comet Spider-Man is on the app on the loading screen. It went to the moon today. It really did. Yeah, it's also on that. There's a little picture of like Vivi and it has like 3 phones. It shows Spider-Man. It shows like Spider-Man. I believe Ben Reilly. I don't think it shows the. Let me find it actually. Maybe I can actually pull it up. Give me a sec. My face is probably like super bright right now, but here it is. This one. this picture. This is like a pretty common picture, I would say. It's actually a little, whoops. There's something I need to do. I think it's Alt. There it goes. So there's a couple interesting ones on here. So that's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. That's Ghostbusters. That's another Ben Reilly. That's the Amazing Spider-Man. Like, already we have 3 Spider-Man NFTs on here, even though it's 2 different Ben Reillys. That's the ultra rare. That's the, no, that's the uncommon. That's the ultra rare, I believe. No, that's the uncommon. It says right there. Duh. That's the ultra rare. There's Throg, and there's Captain America. I'm not really sure. I haven't paid that close attention to Captain America, to be honest. But that is the ultra rare Throg, which I think is another good, could be a good steal. He's been very, very slow to react to all this stuff on the market, but I do think, let me look him up really quick. Sorry about that. The rares have gone up quite a bit. I remember when the rares were like 80 gems, probably less than a week ago. Throg Lightning Leap, 560. So for an ultra rare FA, I believe Randy Chavez did say that Throg, the ultra rare, accidentally closed chat, there we go. That the Throg ultra rare is the lowest mint ultra rare for Marvel, which is a pretty big deal, I would think. I mean, he's heavy in Alligator Loki. He loves Pet Avengers and all that stuff, but I do think Throg is a pretty decent alternative because he could get his own show in the near future. I mean, it's for 560. I'd honestly probably get like a Spider-Man or something like that, or like potentially 2 if you have some extra gems left over. Like, I wouldn't just jump in a Throg right now, but like I do think there's a decent amount of potential here. And he also did make an appearance, I believe, in like the Loki show, and like he could appear, be like a main member in like the Loki like season 2 or whatever. Who knows? But I do think Throg could be a pretty decent pickup. Let's see here. What else we have? JP, what about Green Ghost Bear? Honestly, I've not looked too closely at the decon items too much. Again, like all those prices, I think they are low, but again, I think all of those are going to do better off app. They're going to do better off VV than on VV, in my personal opinion. JP says, when you were talking about Todd versus partner statue, that's the Club 33 comment was about. Oh, okay. Oh, you said like, I don't know about that. Who knows? I don't know. Like, I'm not entirely sure. There's people, I mean, partner statues talked about a lot, but I do think Todd has talked about more. And I do think there's a bit more of a tight-knit community revolving around Todd rather than partner statue. But who knows? I'm not exactly sure. Like the prices of those can moon at any point. Obviously partners is a bit more exclusive. It has like 4,333 mints. Todd is 7,500, but it's hard to say. Mauricio Ariano. Andre Drink is just posted a video about Vivi. Really? He did mention that, or I did see that tweet. He said it was about Vivi, but he also showed some like Omi logos or like Omi symbols at the end. So it's not just about Vivi. I would assume he's also talking about Omi too a little bit in the video. Any first appearance is a buy, pretty much. Obviously, there are some that will do better than others, but yeah. Again, I've said this before, like Vivi NFTs, it's not like if it's profitable, it's just like how much and when, right? There's certain price points where it'll do very well over the next week, but the 2 months after that, it might not do too well. So like ideally you sell it at its peak, you flip that for something that will do well over the next couple weeks or month or whatever it is, depending on if you're a flipper or long-term hodler, like whatever it is. So yeah, it's just a matter, it's not a matter of if, it's just like when and how much. When and how, not if, basically. Coffee Shot says, what's your take on the Myrmicornos? Seems like a good set to stack for collector points. I'm pretty, I'll be honest, I wouldn't say a huge fan, but I'm not too concerned with master collector points. Like, I guess I kind of was initially, but I'd rather just collect NFTs that I know are going to make me a lot of money, guaranteed. No, not guaranteed. I don't want to use that term. That I know are going to do very well in the future, ideally. Like Jim Lee, like, you know, Todd and all that stuff, and Superman. And I don't have all those, but like I have some Spider-Mans. I have some I have the Steamboat Willie set and stuff like that, and it's like I'd rather just have NFTs that I know are going to moon later or that are tied to extremely strong IPs than spend those gems on sets of like typically smaller IPs or like independent artists and get a lot of master collector points, but then like you get those master collector points and now you spend them on an RNG based game, though you may or may not win, and you're competing, trying to beat people that have probably millions of master collector points, people that do have 30, 40, 50 sets of different things, and they just are making 10 to 15 times more master collector points than you are. And even if they did win and they lose all their master collector points, they would just catch it right back up to you within a few weeks. So I could be wrong about those numbers. Like I kind of have the same feeling that like Randy Chavez does, but some people are very bullish on master collector points. Like Andrew Ellis, he did a video a couple days ago talking about it and how it could be a good alternative, especially if you're active on the app. I think once it drops, as long as you're just like, it'll probably show how you can win those 25 daily points. It's like liking, commenting, posting stuff on feed, and doing some other actions. I'm sure it's more socially based. Like it just takes time. It's not even like worth any money. Like it doesn't cost you gems. Yeah. So I mean, you might get lucky, but who knows? It really depends on how everything plays out. Because I think trying to collect master collector points and like how many times would you need to win, and what would you need to win in order for you to offset that $2 or $3 grand worth of gems you invested in something else, like, in those independent artists. And like, I'm not saying those are probably accumulating profits too, right? Like those are going up in price, but are they going up as much as something else you could have invested in? That's just my personal take. For me, it's like, it's a nice bonus to have, but I'd rather just invest in NFTs that I think that could just be profitable, like in the long term. I do like the Myrmidons though. They look cool. I showed them to some of my friends the other day. Of course, some of the girls thought it was pretty cute. The guys thought were like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, what about Spider-Man? Like Batman's pretty cool. Like, those are the ones they're more interested in. And that's the other thing too. On average, I would say the majority of users on VV are men. And a portion of the women were kind of dragged in by their significant other or husband or whatever. So that I've seen my friend and his girlfriend do that. Multiple people I've seen on streams, as well as like content creators that are like, oh yeah, I got my wife in on it. So like, I think that if like, what would the numbers be if those men didn't drag in their wife or their significant other into it, right? So I do think collecting more like superheroes versus kind of like cutesy stuff. I do think the cutesy stuff could still do great, because a lot of those men do have daughters or whatever, they want to share NFTs or whatever it is. Like, whatever it is. Sorry, that was kind of a tangent. The Omi Bromi says, random question, but any idea why your collectible cards load the graph in the cards like mine, just with the loading sign? Oh, like you mean this, like on the right side for ecomi.wiki? I don't know, like you mean like it just shows loading and it's like not loading the picture? I don't know, maybe it's your computer, maybe it's the web browser you're using. Not entirely sure why that is. Let's see what's updated on the. Keep looking at the graphs here. I don't know why I keep backing up like that sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I need to refresh it or something like that, but obviously I don't need to do that. Let's look at some of the biggest losers. I don't think we've actually looked at like the biggest losers yet. Donnie is just retracing. Maybe someone undercut because they're really trying to buy a secret rare Spidey instead of a Donnie. Who knows? Let's take a look. I'm actually more curious about just the total listings versus like, because I think when things like Donnie happen, it's mostly just people just delisting their stuff and not actually like sales, but who knows? Yeah, it seems strange that. Yeah, it looks like someone just delisted and then maybe relisted higher. Because it went from 7 up to 9 and the price went. No, the price went down. Okay, so maybe there was a purchase, more likely just an unlisting. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell with these graphs if it's a delist or an actual purchase. Of course, all the Ultramans are retracing. Some of the Murmur-Konos are retracing. If you notice too, if there's something you haven't noticed, or there's one, but just because it's probably one of the most expensive DC NFTs on the platform, but it's like none of these are DC and Marvel for the most. And the DCs that are retracing by like no more than like 10-ish%, and it's usually one of the really expensive ones like this. So a little bit of retracement. Jim Lee's down to 1.8, but they're not mass selling off, right? Lucas Soares, could just be Soares. People start foaming into Superman after he reaches 10K. I think so too. I do think still Superman is undervalued. Let me check him out really quick. He might have updated since we last saw him on here. Oh, it's because I have it on losers too. Let's do this. He's at 7.4. I think, what's today? Monday? I think he could definitely push 9 by the end of the week. Maybe 10. Throg was pumping. Yeah. Beyond the Fan says, Throg was pumping. He was pumping. I will admit, like, he is one of those NFTs that people will, if you own one, you're more likely to take your profit and invest in something else. Like I said, like, I mean, you could sell off your Throg, buy a Zombie Hunter Spider-Man common, and then still have 150 gems left over for something else, right? Like, so I don't necessarily, like, I've invested some into Throg, ultra rare. I even did a video not too long ago, like, kind of saying I invested in it, but like, I totally don't blame people for like not heavily investing. Like, I'm not trying to pump it either, but I do think like all it takes is one or two small catalysts or an announcement, or who knows, maybe just people want to complete like the pet adventures thing, like they have an alligator Loki, they want to Throg alongside. People joke around how it's also like the FA of Thor or whatever, which may or may not be true. I think that's up for VV and Marvel to decide. Unlikely, but it depends. When they actually release the first Thor, we'll see. Gooseneck says, when will the FOMO for sets start? It happened before. When will the FOMO for sets start? It happened before. When will the FOMO for sets start? It happened before. Okay. Just got like, there's no punctuation there, so I'm like trying to like literally backtrack as to like, where is the punctuation? Yeah, so when will the FOMO for sets start? It happened before. Not too sure. I think it's, well, maybe like the master collector points could be like tied to like how much the floor price is, but then you'd get some really big manipulation there for certain NFTs, in my opinion, if it's like the amount of points you get for a set is also tied to the floor price of those NFTs, and then now we can get some pretty crazy stuff going on, because like at that point, like the rich just get richer. They could just pull listings off for a certain period of time, get a bunch of master collector points, and then repost them. Like, I don't know what would happen with that, but I'm not sure. But like now sets are just so expensive. I think more people are just going to be, but then again, I mean, VV could always add stuff if you have sets later in the future, because it's just going to get harder to get sets. That's a fact. Okay, retracted message. That's fine. Beyond the Fan, we are on the same track. MCP, always my MCP points for accessories or VV land. Okay, so you can use it for VV land. So like, can you buy land with master collector points? Has anything been like officially announced with like master collector points, like what you can and can't do officially? I know like VV was throwing out a lot of ideas, but I don't think anything's been like officially announced, right? Because accessories are like cool, but like land, that's a huge deal in my opinion. Copa Zop. No, Gooseneck says one big win is enough. True, that's all you need. Copa Zop says MTL gonna tank most dollar amounts or just most of the price? Yes and no. I do think blue chips will retrace a bit, but not much. There could be some that might sell off. I do think Decon will retrace quite a bit. Trying to think like what else could like retrace a lot. Cryptkins, like I'm not entirely sure. It's really hard to tell like how much it's going to retrace. If they did it all at once, like if everyone could just use MTL day one and like, all right, if you want to cash out, go ahead and cash out. Like, yeah, the market would just flip on its head. Things would just crash very quickly. Again, the blue chips wouldn't dip as hard. But again, like the VV community is just so trigger happy and so not finicky, but like I'm trying to think of the term, but just like I said, just trigger happy. Like whenever there's an announcement or like a speculation of something, like typically people overreact and just start buying up stuff or start hard selling something else, whatever it is. Like Sue Storm is announced, the FA of her skyrockets double and a half of the price, then it crashes down like an hour later, and then it kind of settles somewhere in between and like goes up again. I'm like, it is just absurd. So like even if Vivi a couple weeks from now says, by the way, MTL is going to start on this date, but less than 5% of the people on the platform are going to have it, and we're going to release it to 5% of the people every 2 weeks, which means by the time July hits, everyone will have it, and we're starting off with people with the least amount of gems to impact the market the least initially. People would still just quick sell all their stuff. Like it doesn't matter. Just the fact that MTL was announced and there's a date, people would just freak out and sell. Even if they weren't going to actually have the capability of doing it till later, people would still just freak out and sell. In my personal opinion, that's just me. Sebastian Fernandez Perot, who knows? It was lagging this morning. It's fixed. It is fixed now. It was pretty laggy this morning when we were looking at some of the cards and just stuff like that. Also, I have noticed like ecomi.wiki does drain like my CPU like quite a bit. Like when I'm running this with like other apps, or like even if I'm running a video game while I'm playing, everything just does kind of seem to like lag down a bit. So don't know why that is, but you just kind of have to be cognizant of that if you're running this with other stuff. Gooseneck, Omita NFT will offset MTL if they do it roughly around the same time. Yes. If that is the case, blue chips will just go higher and everything else will just kind of settle somewhere in the middle. I mean, everything will go up, but blue chips will just pull away faster. Like just the gap between blue chips and like your normal NFTs will just be wider at that point. Because I almost bet you for a fact, someone like Randy Chavez, who's got hundreds of, I think last he said he had like 100 and something million on me, like low 100 million, like 114 or 50, maybe he bought more, who knows. But like I can imagine like he's gonna buy possibly Secret Rare Spider-Man, like possibly buy entire Spider-Man sets and a bunch of other stuff. Like he's not just gonna buy the high-end stuff, he's also gonna buy the lower end stuff too, right? And he might stack, he might not, who knows. But he's not the only like Omi millionaire. On the left side, okay. Oh yeah, the actual like NFT cards. I see what you mean. Yeah, they were super slow earlier, but they fixed it. So, Adam Sullivan says, "What's your opinion on FA Robin?" I think he could do well. I think he'll perform not as good as the other characters. Ooh, why is this uncommon? Why does it have 13,000 editions on this Robin? Seems a bit high. Does seem quite a bit. That does seem pretty high. Because this was part of the Black and White series, right? With okay, now this is with a different group. I thought this was with the Jokers and something else, and like this Robin or something like that. Okay, different series. Or I'll take off my thing. Hide my camera real quick so you guys can actually see this series. The Batman Who Laughs, number 71, number 6, and number 76. I do think like maybe short term, like maybe people haven't. I mean, it's actually already pumped quite a bit. This Robin. I'm not paying too close attention to the ultra rare. It's just I do think Robin is like the last one people think about. It goes like Batman, Joker, Harley, then Robin. But I think just the fact that just between these two Robins, I mean, there's only 13,000, like 13.5. Yeah, basically 13,000, yeah. Of Robins on the platform. There's the Carmine. Good time to buy though? It's hard to say. That is a lot of mints. Why is that though? Because the Batman Who Laughs doesn't have that many, does he? Let me look up Batman Who Laughs. In my opinion, Dick Sprang. I do think short term, like Robin could be pretty good. Wow. Batman Who Laughs has got 17,000 mints. Okay, I was like, there's no way the common has less mints than the uncommon. That's just weird. And it's part of the same set. Like, that usually doesn't happen. Like, actually, I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah. I mean, it's part of the set. The other Batmans have been doing well. It wouldn't surprise me if this Robin did pretty well. So it'll be profitable. Like, everything on Vivi's going to be profitable. I just don't think it'll be as profitable as like Dick Spring Joker or some of the other Harleys and stuff. But I think number 76 Robin could be a good pickup. The Omi Brummy, all good. No worries. Just curious. I'm on a M1 Mac Mini. Okay. I'm a Windows and Android fan myself, but in my opinion, all these FA heroes will be 1K minimum. I agree. It's just, again, they're all going to hit a number. It's just when, right? They're all going to hit 5K, but when? So I agree with you, Coffee Shots. Like this Robin, even though he's only at like 360, he'll hit 1K eventually. It's just when, right? It's just a matter of time. JP, land will probably be bought with Omi. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just not sure like what's been like formally announced by Vivi when it comes to Master Collector points and what you could do other than those like raffles. Ilmatic says, "You're what's up, man." Appreciate that. Jose Chavik, do you like Captain America Mighty set? Honestly, I haven't looked that closely at the Mighties or Captain America, but like, you're not the first person to ask today, so I might actually have to do like a bit of research and digging into it for the most part. So Captain America Mighty set. What is the set that came with the? Is my camera still on? No, it's still here. Okay, just making sure. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Where's the Captain America Marvel Mighty? What is this? It's not Captain Carter, is it? No, there's like actual Captain Americas. Mighty, oh no, this is gonna pull up all the Marvel Mighties. And Marvel Mighties are actually part of a real life or like just like a physical collection, right? Like there are actually like physical collectibles. I think a lot of people forget that there are yeah, there's like Sam Wilson, John F. Walker, Steve Rogers. Okay, I guess none of them actually go by Captain America. It's like their actual names. Okay. Bucky Barnes. Okay. What do I think about them? I mean, I think they're obviously doing really well. The FA tag helps them a lot. Red Skull, though, nearly doubles in price in the last 24 hours. Again, I do think villains of some of these things are going to do good things. Whether it's Joker, Red Skull, Doctor Doom, Mighty Marvel, like, I think those will do well because you can collect. There's more than enough of the, you know, the Walker or the Steve Rogers or Bucky Barnes, but there's less than 5,000 Red Skulls to go around for people that want like the whole set or the collectibles. Let's see here. But how I feel about it, I honestly have not spent that much time looking at Marvel Mighties or Captain America for some reason. Beyond the Fan says, it's only speculation around land and any MCP use, nothing written or confirmed. Okay, that's good to know. I'm like, dude, that's nuts. Like, I think if they confirm something like that, like, people would be very bullish on MCP points, especially whales, because now they might just... There will be ways to min-max your Master Collector points with gems. I think that's something I brought up to Omi the Clown, maybe in Discord like a month ago or something like that. I'm like, it'd be really cool if there was a tab that you would click on and it says like MCP points for gems or like the cheapest Master Collector points per gem. So you could actually see the sets that give you the most Master Collector points per gem as the floor out, as it's currently presented. So it's like, oh, you could buy this one of one because that gives you the most Master Collector points, or you can buy this set of comics or this small set of Marvel Mighties or the Mercornos, Unicornos, like whatever it is, because prices fluctuate and move around, right? So there could be some people that want to just get some quick Master Collector points if they are hanging around with 500 gems. They don't know what to invest in, but they want to like shore up some master collector points. They could find what is the cheapest set per gem. You can either do by total amount, so you can either do, I have 500 gems, like what's the most gems I could get for that amount, or it's like what's literally the best, I don't care the price, but like what's the best master collector point per gem amount. So it could be higher, but why are both Robins FAs? Is that really the case? Let me look it up on my phone, because sometimes the don't know why it's showing Groot. Are they are both FAs, huh? I think it's because they're part of the same set. I don't think that's not right, is it? That's not right. Yeah, that might be a little error. Let me see here. I'm gonna look at the 76 Robin. It says first appearance. Is that an error or like? Because they didn't come out with the same set. I mean, this was the set I showed you guys earlier. So this is the set. Dropped on May 20th. When did this one come out? This is strange. Keep uncommon Mickey or sell now. I'd keep it, in my personal opinion. As long as the UR keeps pumping, the uncommon is the next highest one, and that will just follow along, in my personal opinion. Yeah, and then there's Carmine here. This is November 4th. Wait, does that mean this Robin actually dropped first? That's November 4th. I know my camera's still not here. May 20th. So is this Robin technically like the FA of the FA? Like the actual FA? Yeah, because the other one is just Carmine. It's just the artist, right? So we got an uncommon FA Robin, not attached to an artist, like a genuine FA, and he's only 360. I think we just discovered something here, boys. That's actually a really good call out, RR. Or who said it? Copa Zop. I think it's Zope. I could be wrong. That's a really good call. This Robin dropped first. And this one's only FA because it's a different artist. Interesting. And like, there's still not a because all the Batmans are tied to an artist, right? But this is like an FA Robin, and he's only 360. Number 76, Sun on Batman. What do you mean by that? All right, so I jumped ahead in chat. Let me catch up. Coffee Shots, smaller Robin is Batman's son. Okay, but it's still called Robin? Brings to life. Design artist by Frank Quitely? Or Quietly? Okay. So maybe this is just one of the earlier sets, but they did Todd too. So they're used to putting names on, like the name of the artist on the NFT itself, but yeah, that's strange. But it still says Robin, and it's an FA. It's the first Robin. So, or what happened with all Mickeys? What happened with Mick? Yeah, people FOMO'd into it. That's what Coffee Shot says. Yeah, like people FOMO'd into it. Like they really wanted Steamboat Willie, and especially like the 2 to 3 days prior, like people have been talking about Steamboat Willie. You know, it's the first appearance of Mickey in real life when they actually synced up animation and sound like on a cartoon thing. Like that was a big deal, like historically. So that's a huge deal. and Steamboat Willie is the first appearance of Mickey. And apparently there is like licensing things. Someone did post a video talking about that. Like technically Steamboat Willie and Mickey are different, but most people know Steamboat. I think it was Randy Chavez that like there's technically a difference, and like the licensing could be up for one, or I don't know all the stuff going on with that, but there is something going on with like Steamboat Willie. But I would keep Uncommon Mickey for now. Like let's check out Mickey's really quick. We got to put in Steamboat. What are they? That's 2 words. Steamboat. Or am I an idiot? What's going on? You know, let's make it easy on myself and just put Steam. Hello? If I just do Willie. Hello? Sometimes this happens. All right, let's do this. No, I don't. Oh, do I have to sign in again? I guess there might have been an update or something like that. So, give me a sec, guys. Let me just log in. Let me double check. All right. Okay, we're back in. No wonder it wasn't doing its thing. We just had to like log back in. There's more than one Robin. Okay, that's just under the type of Robin, right? How many Robins are there? 1, 2, 3. There's Gemly, Nightwing. But that's it, right? There's just those 3. And I think the Gemly Nightwing was technically first, right? Because I think he's like one of the most earliest. Yeah, March 11th. Okay. The other one was March 20th. So I guess Nightwing is technically the first appearance of Robin, but he goes by Nightwing. That's debatable. Like which one's like technically the FA. And that's another kind of interesting thing too. It's like, how does VV determine? I'm sure they talk about it with a licensor, but like, what is technically an FA? Like there's a lot of Batmans, but they're all FA, but they're FAs of that artist's version. So it's like, Nightwing is technically Robin, but he has a different name. And if you type in the name Robin, he doesn't show up. So it's kind of interesting. Beyond the Fan, the 2 Robin FAs are different Robins with different civilian names. Gotcha. Coffee Shots, 2 different Robins. Yeah. Beyond the Fan, you have a character like Batman, Spider-Man, etc., who have different people under the mask. Peter Parker, Ben Reilly. Yes. Yeah, so that one I kind of understand. And they're also part of different comic book series and or like Marvel, like multiverse stuff like that. Which I guess you could argue too for like DC. I don't know. Like, I'm just curious how they determine actually like an FA for the most part. And like how something like Steamboat Willie isn't a first edition. Not exactly sure how that plays out, but because especially since like, as far as I know, Steamboat Willie will be a series. And as more Mickey series get released, they could do like a Fantasia Mickey on this next one. And it's part of a series, and it's, I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's up to Disney and VV. Nightwing used to be Robin, correct? Beyond the Fan, Coffee Shots also took over the mantle of Batman for a time. Oh, he did? Interesting. Did not know that. There's so much lore tied behind like not lore, but just so much story and different artists and writers. And I mean, it goes for Superman or like every comic book hero, right? Like I kind of remember watching a YouTube channel or a YouTube video talking about like Superman and stuff and how people are like, oh, Batman would beat Superman and vice versa and all that stuff. And it's like, well, it depends on who's writing the story, right? It depends on who the author is, because sometimes Superman can basically take a bunch of kryptonite bullets in his chest or be surrounded by kryptonite, but he can still pick up a car and throw it and fight, but he's just much, much weaker. But then another author there's a small fragment of kryptonite, and Superman just collapses, and he's just feeble, right? It really depends on who the author is and how strong or weak they make the characters, right? So, or smarter. Coffee shots, yeah. Hammond. Number 72, Carmine Robin dropped in 2020. Dropped in 2022. Oh, okay. So I did miss that. Carmine Robin. Okay, so Carmine Robin is technically first. I missed that 2022. I forgot that like Vivi was still around in like 2020. Sometimes I forget about that like they were actually around in like 2020, like late. D'Angelo the Physicist. I got the Joe Uncommon Batman for 2,075. Let's see. Batman. Dude, honestly, like any of the Batmans, any like the superhero stuff, if you buy it now, like you're gonna make profit. It's just a matter of like, can you afford it now? Like it's getting to that point now. It's like, can you afford it? Dude, that's a good pickup. It's at 2,300 right now, and that 2.5% like fee. I mean, you could sell it now, but I definitely think like you bought it for the long-term hodl, so that's a solid pickup. And I will admit, I do think the Joe Mad, I just call it Joe because I don't know, Joe Maduria, Batman. I don't know how to pronounce that. But I just call it Joe Mad. I do think Joe Mad is one of the coolest looking ones. Not as cool as Todd. I like that Becky Cloonan look. I like Joe Mad. I really like the Batman Who Laughs. I'm so upset that I did not buy more of him when he was sub 100. I even contemplating buying like, should I buy like, 3, 4, maybe even 5 of these? Like I could have bought 15 if I wanted to, but I was just like, I'll just buy 2, like that's good enough. And I remember when it went up to like 200, I sold one at that price point. I'm like, all right, cool, this is good. And just freaking skyrocketed from there. And I just like could not catch up at that point, which seems to be the theme with Vivi right now. It's just, you just can't catch up with certain NFTs once they take off. And so now it's not a matter of like, can you afford it? It's just like what you can afford now. Where the hell am I? But no, D'Angelo, that's a solid pickup. I do like Joe Mad a lot. I do think he's a sleeper. He's what, ranked 3rd for most expensive? 4th behind Becky Cloonan. So it goes Todd, Rizzo, Becky Cloonan, and then Joe Mad. That's a solid pickup. I do like the look of Joe Mad. He's probably number 3 for me. Rizzo looks cool too, but I think I like Joe Mad. The look, the aesthetic of him a bit more. Viam? No, I don't know what you're saying, dude. D'Angelo Fistis 4, nice. I don't. Kopazop. Love hearing from you. You're a normal dude, not one of us guys who got into this February already a millionaire with 400 collectibles. No, dude. I'll be honest, I got extremely lucky early on. I won an Elsa, sold it so I had enough. So I had enough for Walt. Got Walt. Like looking back in hindsight, I'm like, these were all terrible ideas. Like, why did I sell Elsa? I sold Walt later. So I honestly did have a bag, but I was still just figuring out the app. Like I didn't have 9 months of experience like everyone else had. Like they already knew what was good and this and that. Like I remember I had a bunch of gems. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, all right, I'll go on Ecomi Wiki. I had experience doing a lot of market stuff with like different video games. EVE Online is a game I play quite a bit or used to. And I used to do a lot of market stuff on there. So I'm so used to like seeing trends. I used to do some stuff with stocks, not too closely, but like comparing stocks and anything to this, it's just like, you can kind of look at the relation between the, like what are the total listings versus the total amount of mints and like what are the current price and stuff. But like a lot of the NFT stuff in general, it just breaks rhyme or reason. So the best you can do is just speculate and just kind of hope you made the right decision. But at the same time, like I said before, like everything is profitable on the app. You could literally buy anything on the app and you'll be profitable in a month, 2 months, a year, whatever it is. It's just like which ones you want to pick that will make you the most profitable. And do you want to flip and this and that? So, but I appreciate that, Copa. Yeah, dude, if you like this content, this is typically how I am. I might do more streaming because I do like this a bit more than making videos, but I think occasionally people do like the videos and it does help with like the algorithm, and I don't have enough for like ad revenue or anything like that, so it's not that big of a deal. But Vivi came out and said the FA at Mickey's partner statues. Yeah, I remember that. It technically is, yeah, it is the first appearance, but I think the first edition Mickey, but maybe because it's not kind of part of the same set, who knows? It's up to Disney how they want to determine what is like FA, what is FE. Yeah, so I did get very lucky, like I'll be honest, early on, but I did make some mistakes. I did like I haven't really flipped many things for a loss, and usually it's like I buy something for less than 100 gems and I lose, you know, single digits, maybe low double digits in gems, just so I could afford something else. But like I've never had to like sell anything for like a major loss or anything like that. Beyond the Fan, in the 90s there was a limited comic series that was DC versus Marvel. Interesting. I would love to see that. Unfortunately, I do think it depends on like what people were in the comic. If it's just like basically like the superheroes that are like earthbound, like not like crazy intergalactic or interdimensional beings, I do think DC would win. But if there was like interdimensional beings, like crazy stuff, I do think Marvel has more of that, I believe. Like I do know Marvel's got some pretty crazy like intergalactic like multi-dimensional destroying like creatures and comics and stuff like that. Yeah, like I know the Marvel has like One Above All, which is like the god basically of Marvel, and then there's also the Marquis of Death. I love watching I think it's Comics Explained. He just covers different comics like every like couple times a week, covers a comic or a superhero, and he does an amazing job telling the story and kind of give you a breakdown of the story. And there's some crazy superheroes in there. Just followed you on Twitter. Appreciate that, Beyond the Fan. I should be more active on Twitter. Like I usually only use it to post when I only post on there when I have put up a video on YouTube. Sometimes I'll like and like retweet things that Vivi have said, or like another content creator if they make a good point about an NFT or something like that, or something related to Vivi. But I probably should be more active on Twitter. Creeper Dash Dude, is Captain America a good buy right now? Which one? That is kind of the I just did it again. How would you look up Captain America without looking up all the individual little names? Yeah, you'll have to let me know which Captain America Creeper Dash did. I do think the rare has some room to grow. Like the ultra rare and secret rare, I know I pumped like very quickly. But I do think the rare does have quite a bit of room to move. Same thing even with like the ultra rare. Where's the secret rare at? Secret rare is at 1.5. Okay, a little bit of like retracement. Let's pull up the. I'm not exactly sure like which one. I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking. I'm just talking right now, so I'm not exactly sure like which Captain America you're interested in. Okay, Beyond the Fan. None of the other Batmans are FE. I guess Mickey isn't FE. I think FE doesn't apply to most characters. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they determine what's FE, and like, I mean, that's one of the questions I would like to ask. I think they've been asked that before. So I'm not exactly sure how they determine that. Like, I think one of my videos I might post next is like questions I would like to ask next AMA. Like, how do you determine if something is first appearance or FE? Is it basically up to you, or is it the licensor? How's that negotiation or talk go? Another good question is like, is there ever going to be the capability of like buy orders? Like, if I really wanted to, maybe I don't have enough for secret rare ultimate Captain America at $7,000, but can I post a buy order for $6,000 and see if someone will buy it? You know, because sometimes people don't want to play the undercut game, or like they need the gems right now to buy another NFT or whatever it is. Like they might be able to take a heavy discount. So like those are all things like I want to ask them. But you know, there's now we've kind of gotten to the point where there's actually thousands of people in these AMAs and they just don't know who to bring up and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna make a video on it, on questions I would like to ask next AMA, and it'll probably be like 5 or 6 questions, and not the usual like, you know, can we have flying cars in the VV verse? It's like, yeah, sure. I don't know. Like, I love the community, all that stuff, but sometimes the AMA questions can be like, it's just speculation. Like, can we do this in the VV verse? And they're like, yes, potentially. It's like not even finally designed yet, but like, yes, you can technically, we could implement that. You know, we could do it. Do you own physical collectibles? Says Harmon. I do not. Honestly, I'm not that kind of person that has like a ton of money, let's say. And I honestly just got on VV. I've gotten fortunate. I've done a lot of good flips. I got really fortunate early. That gave me the capital to like kind of flip to where I am now. But yeah, no, I don't own any like physical collectibles or anything like that. It would be cool. Like if I did own a Todd, I would look pretty aggressively to find like a physical Todd. I think it'd be cool to match there's just have one of each. Even cooler if you could match the mint numbers, but I know that could be quite difficult. Yeah, but no, I don't own any physical collectibles. Beyond the Fan, followed you on Twitter. Yeah, I already read that. Appreciate that. Pixel Trader, number 41 wallet just got listed for 1 million gems. Maybe the lowest possible public mint number. Huh. I think that's right. I think that is the lowest mint number you can do for those ones. Beyond the Fan, I think from DC versus Marvel, it was Superman versus Hulk. Superman would win, as much as I would hate to say that. Batman versus Captain America. Ideally, well, they're both in peak physical human condition, or whatever the term they typically use in like comics, where it's like, instead of just saying like a flat value of like how strong they are, they just say peak human physical condition, because like Batman is human after all. So is Captain America, but he has a super soldier serum, so I think he can kind of like, I don't know if he could technically push beyond those limits, or he's just like really, really, really strong, like pound for pound, like the strongest person like in the world. Like who knows? Pound for pound. Who knows how heavy the Hulk is? And Spider-Man versus Superboy. Don't really remember Superboy. I can't remember who else in it and what happened. Yeah, I'm not very active on Twitter either. Yeah, it's just so hard to like keep up with so much of this stuff. But like you really should, because all it takes is one big name content creator or Dr. Profit or whatever, and they tweet about Todd, or they tweet about you know, Dick Sprang Joker or whatever, and then before you know it, like you see the tweet, and then literally 6 minutes later, the price is up 40%. And you're like, what happened? Like, oh, this tweet happened 12 minutes ago. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, so I'm going to try and be more active, and at least like maybe have notifications on for some of the bigger name people. So when they do tweet, I just know something's going to happen. But Adam Sullivan, is Cartoon Network decent as equivalent to Marvel DC? No. Cartoon Network, the biggest things that are going for Cartoon Network, in my opinion, are season 1. Okay, it is a show, like it does have a following. Like people know what Cartoon Network is, but they might not be as familiar with like all the characters or the shows in it. But I'd say like the big things that are going for are like low mint numbers, season 1, typically. And like, you know, people typically watch those shows like as a kid, you know. Adventure Time, I'm not sure when I haven't really watched Adventure Time. I do want to like watch at least a little bit of it so I have a better understanding. I think some of it is based off of D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, which I enjoy personally. But yeah, but like, you know, a lot of people know what the Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that are. So I would say those are the two main things that are going for it. The fact it's like season 1, low mints, like they are one of like the first NFTs like on the platform, right alongside Marvel and DC, but is it as popular? No. And the only reason why some of them are like keeping up in price with some of these DC and like Marvels is because like it's like low mint, in my opinion. Andre Drink dropped the nice. Yeah, I heard about that. Sorry, I kind of skipped ahead. Creeper Dash Dude. Okay, common. This one, right? Captain America, the first Avenger. I'm assuming that's what it says. Not zombie Captain America? Let's take a look at this. Very healthy pump since literally January. I don't know. Like, again, I'm not a huge fan of chasing pumps, but again, with just the way people have been reacting to VV, instead of like not chasing the pump, which is probably what you should do, some people will literally just start liquidating everything else to be able to afford it, or they start consolidating their NFTs and start selling this off, and so they can afford it. So it's hard to tell. It's purely speculation, but I'm trying to think like what else you could buy for 219 gems. Other than like the low end cartoon, not low end Cartoon Network, but like Finn and like Jake the Dog. Trying to think of like some other like DC and Marvels that are like in the 200s. Not many, dude. There's not many in that price range, so it really depends on how many gems you have like overall as well. Like, as if you actually have something closer to like 400 gems to spare, like 300, that's a different question. But if you only have like 220 or like something in that range, so I can't give you like a straight answer. Like the graphs, like me personally, my bias is like when I see something pumping like this, I'm like, I'm gonna let it chill. Like I'm gonna let it go down and hopefully it just chills. And also too, like all it takes is one big IP announcement from VV to have things start plateauing and or just like falling off, right? Or vice versa, if they announce like a new IP, but it's kind of like meh. Let's say like Ninja Turtles or something like that. It's a big name IP, but I don't think people are going to be selling off all of their high end collectibles to be able to afford, you know, Donatello, Michelangelo, Splinter, Shredder. Like they're not going to be selling everything off to afford it. And I think that's the other thing too, is like people are just waiting for that next announcement. So like if Ninja Turtles was announced, they know like, okay, if this is the new IP and it's not that big, it'll probably be another month or maybe 3 to 4, 3 weeks before they announce another IP or another like new series. So it's like that just buys us more time to buy up some of these other NFTs. So it could work either way. If it's a big name IP that could actually like stop the market, it'll plateau or drop. But if it's like a meh or like whatever IP, or like people that aren't that like, not an IP that would basically rival DC or Marvel, the DCs and Marvels will just keep going up, in my opinion. But yeah, Andre Drake did drop a nice video. I haven't seen it yet, again, because I've been streaming, but I will check it out like shortly after this. Beyond the Fan says Steve Rogers for Captain America. Okay. Are you just saying that's your favorite Steve Rogers, or check it out? Oh, it's Steve Rogers. Yeah. He's under 200. Jeez. Loud motorcycle. Let's see. This okay, the feet look weird. I admit they look like little hooves, like horse hooves on the Steve Rogers. Not a huge fan. It's just I don't know, but it's true. It is. He is the FA. He is the FA, and he's been pumping as well. So again, like when I see something just do a sheer vertical cliff face, like I'm not very bullish on chasing that. But again, the market has been acting very weird recently. People just basically just chasing pumps like there's literally no tomorrow. If you had to stack one collectible, why? Honestly, now like some of the people have been talking, I would say I have like 3 options, three different ones, and they're actually all different IPs, which is cool. So I'll do this. So as of right now, like basically just off this research and the numbers I've looked, if you have quite a bit of gems, so yeah, Dick Sprang has already gone up, or no, so I would say Dick Sprang, half the amount of mints as Jim Lee. It's a rare. There's literally only 1,100. No, I said 1,103. Yeah, there's literally only 1,100 Joker mints. 11,000. Sorry, take that back. 11,000 Jokers on the app, and there's tens of thousands of Batmans. So I do think this is being slept on. Like FA Joker, like I don't know how many gems you have, but like I would get 1 or 2 Jim Lee Jokers, just depending on how many gems you have. Like if you have 3K gems, I would just stack Dick Springs. But if you have like a lot, maybe get a Jim Lee and then multiple Dick Springs. So that's like the high end. Like if you have a lot of gems, I would get Dick Sprang if I could stacked personally. The next one would be, if it'll load, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man common, so 300, so it's not 850. So if you don't have a ton of gems, like this is like the next step down in my personal opinion. I just think it did have an initial pump. It has retraced a little bit because it went up to here. I could have sworn there was a time it went up to like 300 again and then like retraced back down, but regardless, this is the cheapest, literally the cheapest Spider-Man on the market right now. People could easily sweep the floor of this because it's only 300. And I think any hype that happens around the Secret Rare Spider-Man, or literally any of the Spider-Mans, any of the other ones, they're all tied together. So as more people talk about, oh my God, Secret Rare's at 100K, or Ben Reilly has touched, this amount, or whatever it is, it's a trickle-down effect in my personal opinion. So I do think like Zombie Hunter Spider-Man is a good stack right now. And especially if the like Ultra Rare is up, this is up. I think all the Spider-Mans are up right now for the most part. So and I think the main thing that has it, plus it also has what's it called, Doctor Strange's cape, and it's part of like the new movie and all that stuff. And so it's also one of the most unique looking ones because it does have the cape on it. And the last one I would probably stack is Finn. It's cheaper than the other, so I kind of went in like price order for the most part. Is Finn 1N or 2Ns? That's the other thing about Joker too, or just DC in general, is that 2.5% fee is really nice. There he is. So he's a bit cheaper. He's actually already gone up quite a bit. I think he was at like, I could have sworn he was going at like 205 earlier today. Yeah, literally earlier today, he was at 150. And then he pumped up. He's Cartoon Network, low mints, literally less than 8,000. The second series that's ever been released. Adventure Time is one of the most profitable shows that Cartoon Network has like ever had. Has also one of the widest ranges of viewership by age group that they have as well. And Finn is like the main character of the show, so you could probably also branch off and go like Jake the Dog too as well, like maybe split between the both. I know Jake the Dog has been going up as a little bit as well too. And that's typically what I'm going for. I'm always trying to like, and that's why I need to brush up on things like Captain America. I'm not too familiar with the comic. Wow, Jake the Dog is already up to 400. He was, I think when I was literally talking about him earlier in the stream, he was at 200. Then he pumped up to 400. He's at 390 now. Why is this not reflecting that? There it goes. It should be higher than this. I think it just hasn't updated yet. Plus it's being a little laggy right now. Yeah, those I would say, because Jake, I shit you not. Sorry. Jake the Dog was like 225 earlier today. He was like 220. Like him and Finn were almost the same price. Like roughly, like they were like 20 gems away from each other. I think Finn will pump. Just the fact that Jake the Dog is pumped, I think Finn will too in the near future. Those are the ones I would stack, depending on how many gems you have, in my personal opinion. I hope those answers were fulfilling for you. Okay, where the hell am I at in chat? Common Spider-Man, long-term hold. It depends on how many gems you have. And that's the other thing too. It's like, I don't like chasing pumps, so I'm trying to find something else like that could give you a higher return, right? That's just me personally. Pixel Trader, pretty sure the physical collectibles will go up a lot on the secondary market. Todd's already cost a ton of money on eBay. Yeah, and then probably a lot of the Todd physical collectors that maybe had multiples of them, or they're selling them, they're probably like, why am I getting so many emails, or people trying to buy these, getting inquiries on bids or whatever it is. Like, this is crazy. They probably don't know Vivi even exists, so that's probably why it's going crazy. Common Spider-Man, long-term hold, yeah. Says Mark. BJ Ghost, Storm, Deadpool, and Groot are cheap marvels. Storm, Deadpool, yeah, true. Yeah, I mean they're all great ones to stack. I would say those two. Those are just going to be longer term, especially something like Groot could take a while. But then again, last we checked, he was at 42. Where's little Grootsies? Where is Groot? Groot, come here. He's still at 42, but I do remember there were like massive walls at like 40, 42, 45, and 47, I believe. There were some very big walls. God damn it, JP. If you're stacking up one collectible, I'd personally buy Pepperino because it has 2 horns instead of 1, so it's not a unicorno. Yes, that is... I think, who was it that said that before? I think it was VV Vault. I think he said he likes Pepperino. I don't know if it's for that reason particularly, but that is pretty funny. So it's not a unicorno. That's why... That's some like tinfoil like speculation right there. Like there could be some like splinter group of like people that love Pepperino because it's not a unicorno, and they could like make some like corner dwelling cult that just only buys Pepperinos, and they're like controlling the market. Who knows? I like this though. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'm also trying to get more incorporated in like just the VV family and community and stuff like that. Like I've seen Beyond the Fan quite a bit. I remember watching quite a few of your videos. Like I am subbed to you as well as a few others. It's just hard to like keep up with footage while like the market is pumping and I'm like trying to look at this and I'm like trying to create my next video. I was gone most this weekend like hanging out with friends and family and stuff, so I didn't have any time to make a video, which I really wish I could have because there was so much happening this weekend. I tried to stream last night, but I had to wait like 24 hours for YouTube to like finish some verification thing or whatever, so that was kind of weird, but now it's finished, so I'm just glad you guys could all make it. I'm also trying to do some more collaborations too, like kind of hanging out with either live streams with who was it? Meet Kevin Padawan. Yes, that's who it was that I saw yesterday or like the day before. Just hanging out with people in the community. Like I've talked to some people in the community like via Discord or Twitter a bit, and we've kind of talked about doing some collaboration stuff, but just haven't really got around to it. So I would love to do some collaborations and bouncing ideas off each other. That's probably some of my favorite stuff to do when it comes to speculative things like this for the most part. Beyond the Fan says VV Vault said the same thing. Yeah, just because it has 2 horns and it's not a unicorno or whatever. That's hilarious. How'd you guys do on today's drop for the comics? Or even how'd you guys do for like the Sue Storm one? I got one Sue Storm. It was what was it? I think it was just a common. I'm still holding on to it. I'm not doing much with it. I mean, she was up to 60. I'd be very surprised if she's over 60 right now. Let's see where Sue's at. Sue Storm. She's at 62. I was about to say, I'm like, she might be at 62, but I mean, she's going up. And I think she is following suit of like Storm, except you just cut out the first like 2 months of like, it does nothing. Thanks, sub to you a few weeks, but so much going on. Yeah, exactly, dude. So, but no, I would love to, yeah, I'll have to hit up somebody, you know. It's just hard to connect with the content creators because like a lot of them are either working or doing videos or whatever it is. So like anytime you can have a collaboration, it's usually good stuff. So yeah, so what do we got here? I'll probably go for maybe another 30 minutes or so. Are you in VV Vision Discord? I am. Don't really hang out there much, to be honest. Like I'm just in so many Discords, like even outside of VV, I got other Discords and stuff like that. But like, I usually hang out in like the VV market chat. That's where everyone chills. People post memes. People talk about the market. People just try to inadvertently pump whatever they recently bought, you know, whatever it is. People are like, I don't know, those like Bigfoot NFTs are looking pretty nice right about this time of year. Should probably stack those. Like, all right, whatever. But it's all fun in games. I really enjoy like the market chat on like the VV Discord and stuff. Got one on the drop and 4-minute rebound. Let's go. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, Hyman. Let's go. Dude, I said this at the beginning of the, so sorry if I repeat myself, but I said this at the very beginning of the stream, like, I've never gotten a rebound ever on VV. And I've only won, I think 2, maybe 3 comics ever since I started VV like 3 months ago. So I always have the worst luck with comics, basically 0 luck with rebounds, but I do well occasionally with like the blind box drops or like the drops that, the most recent Ron English one with all the creepy looking guys. I have okay luck on those, but my best luck is just the blind box. Everyone loves blind box. Cool. Beyond the Fan. I'm in Scotland. It's 12:30 a.m. IBF for a live stream together at some point. Yeah, maybe we'll do like I don't know, I would love to have maybe if I can get more organized. Like next time I'm live streaming, if people just like want to jump on and stuff, I might just do that. Let people just jump in. Because I've actually talked to Andrew Ellis before. We talked a couple weeks ago. We had kind of like a video idea about some stuff, and so but he's just been super busy, and so have I. But I think a better idea is for us to just go over the topics we talked about live on stream, and then he can make his own video, because I think he's also kind of, yeah, we'll figure that part out. But yeah, I think next time I stream, I might just like, if other content creators that I recognize like want to jump on Discord, or like we could just talk or whatever, I think that'd be kind of cool. It's amazing how many people say the NFT they just bought is going to pump. Of course. And you know, they try to inadvertently like pump it and stuff like that, but yeah, I definitely think some of these NFTs, and actually that reminds me, I kind of want to buy, how many gems do I have? Kind of want to buy some NFTs right now before I forget. Not some, what was it? Yeah, that one is a little out of range. I could sell something else for it. I don't know. I'm honestly debating on whether I should get, maybe you guys can help me out with this one. Should I get a Dick Sprang Joker, or should I get 3 fins? I believe that price equivalent is roughly the same. What do you guys think? Finn? Or Dick Sprang? 1 Joker. 3 fins or Dick Sprang? I'm asking you guys for advice now. How about that? Yeah, it's about the same price. 3, it's I think for it's about 700 if you do that. Beyond the fan, I've had a few rebound, never done better than an uncommon. Dude, that's still, dude, rebounds are still great. It's basically getting it on the drop, obviously. But I've never gotten a rebound ever. I haven't given up on it. Like, I still try. It's just I just don't know how it works. I've watched every video, every tip video that like VV Vault has done, and even alternative videos, and like the whole metronome technique, and like putting up the time.gov thing to like look at your time zone thing and get like the exact time. Like, none of that stuff has worked. Like, I've tried that for the last, I've tried it that hardcore for like the last month, and like the month before that, like I kind of tried it, some of the techniques and stuff, but yeah, not entirely sure how that really works. So Joker for long term, I agree. I think Joker long term, Finn for short term. That's the thing, is like I'm just short of getting. I'm just short gem wise of getting Dick Sprang, but I could afford 2 Finns right now, so that's why I was kind of asking. Finn, because 1 to hold, 2 for sale. Short term Finn, facts. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys' input. This is good, and I think that is a thing. It's like I could, like, if Finn did pump to, let's say 350. I mean, shit, Jake the Dog's at 400. I could sell 1 when it hits 350, and then if it does fall down again, it's like, cool, I've already got my profit. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. All black and white will hold better value in dips. Very true. That is very true. I will say Adventure Time and some of the other like similar NFTs, like those are the ones that people do first. I would say first, but like those are the ones they do sell it before black and white. Yeah, Joker long term, agree. Okay. Let's see. I can make some sales here to like be able to afford to be able to afford it. How much more do I need? I'll figure that out later. I mean, I don't think the Dick Sprang is gonna like skyrocket in the next 20 minutes. Hopefully not, because I'm gonna get off stream here in like 23 minutes or so. Yeah, Joker long term, hell yeah. Let's see what else we got. I don't think we've looked at the new update of top losers yet, have we? Maybe we did. No, Donnie. Yeah, we already did this. Him, H-I-M. I don't really get the him thing. I get it. It's just like super low mint. I don't watch, I never watched the show though, so I don't really know his Infernal Majesty. That's what it stands for. That's funny. Yeah, I never watched Powerpuff Girls, so I don't. Not a show I watch, so I'm not too familiar with like how significant him is like in the show and stuff. But it sounds like he might be popular. Ben Riley went down a bit of retracement. Ultraman is gone down. You know what it is? I do have this set. And I'm kind of just letting it ride. Is the Voltron set? I do have the set of Voltron. I'm kind of just letting it ride at this point, just because of all the hype around like the Chinese stuff. But I do think it has retraced pretty significantly since that announced. No, Voltron back up to 700. That's something I noticed with Voltron. He'll pump at night. At least the last day and a half he's done this. He'll pump up at night because it's almost 6 p.m. here. He'll pump up at night and then like retrace like during the day, because he went all the way down to 500, I believe, or like 5 something. Let's just pull it up. Why am I just guessing when I could just pull up the thing? Let's see. Yeah, like this. Oof, that jump though. All right, come on. Kind of trying to make this graph a little bit smaller because all I want to do is look at the last couple days. A little bit smaller. Yeah, okay, this is good enough. So peaked around, I believe, yeah, was that 6 p.m.? 6 p.m. Peaked at 700. Started crashing back down all the way to 519. 519. Picked up again last night. Or no, this morning at 7, then down, then back up. So maybe there's some margin trading to be had, but it's going to be, but you notice these are getting smaller, right? It goes up, down, but like this one did the same thing, but that this, the down is not as steep. So it's going to, you know, it's going up again. So might not be a bad time to sell it off right now. I just don't see this doing like a very hard secondary pump, unless there's some like crazy thing that happened in the news with China or Vivi. They announced like localization or something like that, or something big happens. But other than that, and again, I'm not a huge fan of like banking off a bunch of money off of just like speculation of like localization or what happens with foreign governments and stuff like that. Voltron FA of DreamWorks, like that is cool, but I'm not 100% certain if that's going to be enough to like just convince people to buy Voltrons, in my personal opinion. Beyond the Fan, check the auction to see if anything is ending soon for Joker. Okay, good call. Beyond the Fan, Teen Titans based on Cartoon Network do well. Oh, Teen Titans based on Cartoon Network would do well on the app. Yes. Beyond the Fan night might be Asia waking up and buying. True, especially FA. Hamoon. Voltron FA, yeah, we said that. Omi the Clown, you've been on the site for quite a while, so it might be using a lot of your browser memory. Refresh the page to clear, and it should run smoother. I've noticed that too. Like I've noticed like the more tabs or the more things I run on, it will lag a bit, which is fine. I'll do that now, not since you reminded me. But what's up, Omi the Clown? Dude, I'm so excited and thankful that you've actually pulled off this site. Plus, you made it look gorgeous too. I've honestly used your site for a lot of my thumbnails and just the cool graphs, and I even kind of loosely based my logo off of the graphs and stuff. I also love like just pink and purple, just kind of like those two-tone colors and stuff like that. Should probably change this. Kind of wish the settings for presentation mode is just on by default. So if I am streaming, I don't want to show information, it doesn't default to showing my information. That'd be kind of nice. Because sometimes, I did have to restart this at one point, but let's see. Oh yeah, much smoother now. Hell yeah. Voltron, let's look it up again. Atlas Reddit, yeah, these have all pumped pretty well. Oof, the commons at 132. This is why I've been kind of letting it ride, but now let's look at the rare too, see if it's telling a different story. Omi in the house, keep up the great work. Glad the website is paying you back now, dude. That is so true. Dude, I knew I was gonna like I think it was you, Omi. You were talking about like maybe basically monetizing the site and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I already knew I was gonna pay. First of all, I didn't even like. I was surprised this was even free in the first place. I'm like, dude, this is so much good information. Like, how is this free? I might have to refresh again. I think I might have clicked something and it made it weird. This is definitely my browser. It's being weird. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there it is. That was my browser being weird. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude. Like, I already knew I was gonna like pay for it. I'm like, dude, how is this not paid for? Because I've done a lot of trading on TF2, which is like, I think in some ways that's the earliest form of like NFTs. Like literally, you would trade hats to other people for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And I remember doing that for a while. Me and my friend used to do that quite a bit. And we made some good money. Not like VV money by any means, but like I think we made a few grand on the low end doing that. Like TF2 has stuff like that. And there's a lot of websites that had graphs and charts and things that would track the price of stuff and how many were listed. And it was a lot of helpful information. So this does replicate that. And like that costed money to actually get that information. So the fact that this was free and you're making thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars a month, like, I'm like, dude, how is this free? But no, that's awesome though. I do know some of the features and stuff need to get massaged out a bit, but like, I get it. You're a one-man show. Like you can't do everything, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks so much for the website. Yep. Everyone appreciates it, dude. And you're like really quick on fixing issues and stuff like that too. Like, but that's how you know, like I think, I could be wrong, but that's how you know he's actually like a software developer or someone that does a lot of this stuff. Is it's not a priority unless it's actually stopping people from actually using the platform. Because I work kind of closely with one game company, but I also know a guy who is a developer for, I think, like Blizzard. Gosh, what's the other company? Not Paizo, but I'm trying to think of the other company. But like he's been doing that for a while, and he's worked at big companies. He's also worked at Amazon Studios and stuff like that, and is like, yeah, like they work on certain things, but like if there are certain things that do come up that are a priority, like if this is actually stopping people from using the platform, or if it's basically stopping the company from making money, you focus on that. You fix that immediately as soon as you can. You stop what you're doing, you fix that, and then once it's done, you go back to working on the other projects and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate that. Now this is awesome stuff, and you're really quick too. Like I think you had the Sue Storm up before it was even on the app, I believe. Or I mean, it was on the app, but it wasn't on market yet. Like the drop didn't even happen yet Sue Storm was on here. I'm assuming that's something to do with the API. Like it just, I don't know if it loads it in automatically or whatever, but I think I told you about this too, Omi, but I would, I know you get this all the time, like people just like throwing suggestions at you, but I think I told you via Twitter, like having a bookmark tab would be solid. Like at the very top left or like somewhere there's like a gold star I can click, and like if I really wanted to check the price of all of the blue chips, I just bookmark all of them, and then I can click my bookmark tab and it just pulls up all the blue chips instead of having to individually type one in. But I know you're probably working on that and a dozen other projects too, but what else we're gonna look up? Did top grossing change at all, or top gainers? Did those change at all? What the? Cthulhu coming out of nowhere. Cthulhu Bronze Idol. That one is interesting. This one is when I see graphs like this, I just can't help but laugh. Like, so we went from 61 listings down to 33. So someone just straight up bought half the listings. I went from 130 to 340, it looks like. Yeah, 340. And right now people are trying to take profits. So people pumped it. I think people got excited, and then I gotta change this again, I guess. And it pumped again, and so right now it's selling off. Let's look at the other idols. I gotta change this actually to collectibles, idol. Idols are pumping right now. The Cthulhu idols are pumping right now. What about the what is that book called? Not the Book of the Dead. That's like Egyptian. Necronomicon, I believe. Necro. There's no O. Necro. There it is. This is basically double. This is double the price, more than double the price, right? At least over the last 24 hours. Almost doubled. Yeah. So it was 445. Now it's up to 717. The listings went down by 40%, which is pretty significant. Yeah, this is pretty absurd. It's just so weird how people are just moving money around. I don't think it's like, maybe people are buying into this. It's like fresh people buying into this, but like, I don't know. It's just hard to believe that there's like fresh people coming in here and like stacking Cthulhu's and Necronomicons. I think that's just a bit weird. I could be wrong. Maybe at midnight I might grab the latest collectibles comics. Then every hour, if there's data, I'll output it. I've already had collectibles before they're dropped. Quick question, Omi. Is there a way, or is it based on like the API servers maybe on VV's end? Is there a way to do it every half hour? And is that like a premium thing? Because that would definitely give you an edge. Because sometimes things literally move within 15 minutes. So sometimes by the time, you know, that's why you get candles like this where it's like, here's the hour here, and then the next hour it's up here, and it's like, how did this double in price within the hour? Load up on a few Zombie Spidey. Good call, Mark. That's a good call. Yeah, Zombie Spidey, the ones I just suggested, Finn, Zombie Spidey, and Dick Sprang Joker, depending on how much gems you have to offer. I would say if you have in the thousands, get one Jim Lee, stack Dick Sprang. If you got roughly 1,000, maybe a little bit more, stack Zombie Hunter Spideys, and if you got less than that, then probably like Finn's. Watch the What If with him. Pixel Trader, Omi the Clown, favorite collectible you already own or one you want to get? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure how often. I don't think I've seen you on interviews and on Twitter, obviously a lot, but like, kind of curious about your like your collectible or like your vault or like NFTs that you enjoy collecting, or maybe your favorite IP or whatever. I think that'd be cool. Mark says, gonna load up on a few. Yeah, I already read that. JP, heard the idols and Necronomicon will be interactive. Will be used to create NFTs in the future and will help burn Omi. Speculation. I don't know. Who knows? I do think there'll be some cool interactions with the book. And is it Book of the Dead? Does it say that? Let me open this. Yeah, it is Book of the Dead. Okay, so it's in parentheses Book of the Dead. I think that's just speculation. Like, I think the VVverse is so far off. I think people are literally speculating on things that I think won't even happen in the VVverse. And that's assuming like there will be a VVverse. Not like there won't be one. Like, I think there will be one. But I think at some point VV will have to partner with a company like Facebook Metaverse, or a company that can actually make the Metaverse. Because I don't even know how they have the manpower to make a VR video game that also has NFT integration as well as all the other features they want to add to it. Like, video games take years to make, and with a full, and that's like AAA companies that have teams of over 100 people working on a video game. It takes them years to make a game. But like, we're talking the VVverse, and like people expect it to happen, like, and have all this crazy integration and stuff. Like, I think it's just going to be a slightly downplayed version of like VR chat, where like, you know, you can post your NFTs, you'll have a house. There'll be servers probably hosted. I don't know if it's going to be a single shard server or anything like that, but, and then you'll likely just have, just like, you can change your avatar, you can show off your collectibles. Maybe there's some small mini games and stuff, but like, it'll be quite some time before I think people are talking about the level of integration or like the level of stuff. Maybe the whole land owning thing will happen really early, but of course all the bells and whistles won't happen till later. Let's see. Watch the What If series. Omi the Clown. The agreement I made with Ecomi is that I'll grab once every hour. I could probably ask to do that every 30 minutes, but that straight up doubles all the data requirements. But I will at some point. Okay, I do think that could be like an additional premium feature. Like, if you do that, that gives you innately an edge over other people. And I realize that's going to come probably at an increased cost to you, because like you said, I think you take the API. I don't know how the hardware and software works, but it does cost you money to get this information. from VV. Like it's not free information. Like it does cost you money. So maybe doubling that amount will cost extra. Who knows how much? But like I think you're a smart guy. You can figure that out. But I think that as an additional premium feature, like getting updated twice on the hour is, or just twice in an hour, is a pretty big deal. Especially since you could pick up these movements literally as they're happening or before they take off. Pixel Trader Nice says, you have to have an Omi Clown Carnival in the VVverse. I would like that, Omi Clown Carnival. Mark, and Twitter is live rooms. Love to see you do a weekly live chat so we can all collaborate. Cool. I'm not on Twitter that often. Like, can anyone just do a Twitter live room? Like, I've never done anything on Twitter live rooms. I didn't even know that was a thing until literally VV. Like a month or two ago, one of my friends who initially got me in VV told me like, oh, get on Twitter. There's like a live room or like a live chat, or Twitter rooms or whatever it's called. I'm like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, it's like Discord. And when we talk and stuff like that, it's like an open platform. I'm like, all right, like, I don't know. Kind of prefer something on like Discord or whatever, but if that's where everyone's hanging out and stuff, like that'd be cool. Weekly live chat. I might do live streams a bit more often than weekly. I might do like twice a week. It just depends on how successful it is and all that stuff. But Omi the Clown, I don't really have a favorite, to be honest. It's just purely monetary and flipping. That was me initially. Like I just got really lucky early on, and I'm like, cool, I got X amount of gems. I got thousands of gems. What's just short-term flips I could do? Like, and plus back then, like the market, there was some fluctuations happening, but now it's like blue chips are just flying and it's just hard to keep up. Oh yeah, I mean, the Kono said, I had a lot of Avengers, number 8, ultra rare, but that's about it. I sold half my collection earlier. Yeah, I would assume all of your, your mental brain power and all that stuff is just going into keeping the Ecomi Wiki, keeping that hamster alive that's running the Ecomi Wiki servers and stuff like that. So I can imagine. It'd be a big move is if you found a way to have people pay an Omi. Ooh, people pay an Omi to run this site. But I don't know how that sounds like a headache, because nothing is integrated like that where it's like you just pay an Omi through here. Like maybe at some point, but because it's no different than how Randy basically makes people pay an alligator Lokis to get on his fridge, because it's an asset that's just going to grow in value over time. And maybe you can even negotiate with like, not negotiate, but like talk about VV like, hey, can people pay an Omi? And like we could also add a burn to it, so it's also burning the wall. Like not like, obviously it's nowhere near on the level of the amount of burn that's going to happen on the VV app itself, but that'd be kind of sick. Called Spaces. Okay, in Twitter, yeah. I've been to multiple spaces and stuff like that. Like I've never got pulled up to talk or anything like that. Like I'm still a very small name dude in the VV community. Like my channel's like a month old, a little bit more than a month old. I've been kind of lazy with my videos, so I do want to be more consistent with that as well. And like the VV community is just fucking awesome. So everyone's cool, everyone helps each other out, and like everyone's very appreciative. Though I do like to be realistic with stuff. Like I don't like to sugarcoat things, or not like I'm not gonna say an NFT is good just because like it'll make you feel better because you made a purchase. Like it's like it just is or it isn't, and that's just my opinion too. Like who knows? I do think some people could be a little overly optimistic about things. That's why like the VVverse, like people are just overly optimistic about the VVverse. I'm like, we are talking way far in the future, which is fine. Like, but I'm not collecting stuff because of the VVverse. Like, I'm kind of bullish on the idea of like real estate and like buying stuff. Like that's pretty cool. But like asking questions on like, can we, can my DeLorean fly, or can we like mix and match? Can we combine NFTs together to make other, like, I don't know, like in the VVverse, like those aren't like the questions I like care to ask or to know. Like I'm more interested in things and like things that are actually gonna like make me money or help other people like on the app. Like the whole bookmark idea, like that, why VV could just do that too. It's like, hey, can I just bookmark these NFTs? So every time I pull up the market, I can just look up these NFTs that I've been trying to keep my eye on for the last week, instead of having to like go to the brands tab, scroll down till I eventually get to DC or find a different tab. Like I'm sure there's easier ways to do it, but it's like, it's such a headache. It's like I wish I could just bookmark these handful of NFTs that I just want to know the price of every day, so I can just easily look it up. Or in my case, I look it up every hour or every like 30 minutes to make sure it's not pumping or something crazy is happening. Also, like, you know, there's no buy orders on the app either. I'm sure VV has a tough time actually having gems being held in like a cloud, because right now like all the gems are like in a wallet, right? But if you put up a buy order, you have to actually pay first, and it's up in a cloud until someone accepts that order and they get the gems, and then you receive the NFT. And I assume that's probably a pretty tricky situation on like how they do that. Like, where do the gems go? Like, it's not in a wallet, so it's got to go somewhere. It's got to be held somewhere. If there is a buy order up for Cerulean, let's say, like, I can't afford it at 37, but what if I put up a buy order for 30? You know, that's also going to help people not undercut each other. So if someone is trying to sell a Cerulean to get have enough gems for next drop, they don't have to put it for 35. No one buys then 34. No one buys 33, and they're just dragging down that floor price because they're just trying to get rid of it. Like, so those are the kind of questions I would like to ask in the AMAs, and not silly stuff about the VV verse, because I don't know. That's just me personally. Beyond the Fan, VV will need a partner and outsource it. Exactly. They do not have the manpower by any means to do what, you know, especially like a normal game, let alone like an integrated like a game with integrated VR and NFTs and features and games and special abilities. And like, is it going to be one giant server where everyone's playing at the same time? Are people going to be able to host their own servers and kind of have like their own LAN? And is it going to be private servers? Is it going to be a handful of servers hosted by VV? Like, these are 5 different ones, and like, where's the most popular server? Kind of like an MMO, right? Like, who knows what's going to happen with that for the most part. But Beyond the Fan, VVverse might be like Earth 2. Who knows? I haven't done any research on Earth 2. I've heard of it. I've heard Randy talk about it. I've done no research, but I think it's worth, you know, going on YouTube for a couple hours and just looking at videos on Earth 2. Like, there's no reason why not to. Coffee shots. Do you think Wonder Woman will reach Superman floor? No, not in my opinion. Let me look up. She's big, but she's not that big. She has Wonder Woman. Okay, so she's at 1.4, 10,000 mints. Like, even if we just like look at the raw numbers, and like arguably Superman is more popular than Wonder Woman. Just put no Superman. But he has less mints, a higher rarity. Also, the NFT just like looks better. It's just the realistic version of Superman versus kind of the cartoony version of Wonder Woman. Now, if they release a new thing of Wonder Woman and it's like the NFT like looks gorgeous, I still don't think it's going to catch up to Superman. And I realize they're both part of the oh, good God, not the Avengers, Justice League. But regardless, and I know Wonder Woman is arguably probably the most popular superhero internationally, like as a female superhero. I think she'll probably always be around a fourth, maybe a third of the price of Superman, roughly. But it's hard to tell. That's just my opinion. Beyond the Fan, anyone can do a space? Cool. On Twitter, all right. I just don't know. Like, I don't think a lot of people follow me on Twitter, and if I do it, they're like people just randomly join in. The main thing is just controlling who can do what and privileges and like who can chat. And I don't even know a lot of people's like names. Most people are pretty good about keeping their YouTube, their app name, and like their Twitter name and all that stuff the same. But sometimes people have different names, or it's just different. So I'm probably just overthinking it. But I'd rather just like turn on the stream and just have people join in. But I'm not against doing Twitter Spaces. I'm down to give it a try at some point. Pixel Traber says Omi has changes coming. Then when Omi to NFT is enabled, could see insane price jumps again. Yeah, because that's a whole nother. Because we also have like, so we have whales coming in to VV that are mostly buying up blue chips, which is why they increase in price. Because if I came into VV right now, and I'm like, all right, all this stuff looks pretty cool. Like, I'm down to put like 15 grand on this. Like, what should I buy? And people are gonna be like, all right, get a Todd, get a Superman, get a Jim Lee Joker, and then get that. Like, they're just gonna tell you the blue chips, you know, or you know, get a Steamboat Willie ultra rare. Try and get the set if you can. Then get a super, like, those are the ones that just people are just coming in with a bunch of money, just buying the blue chips and that's it. But like once we have people come in that are already familiar with VV, they bid in the community for over a year, 6 months, whatever. They're already familiar with the market, the moves it can do. That there's a lot of value to be had in like the lower tier NFTs as well, like Zombie Hunter, Spider-Man, and some of the cheaper ones. Like people could just come in and be like, I would buy the floor of Zombie Hunter, Spider-Man, or I would buy the floor of Finn Mertens, but I just can't because all my money's tied up in OMI. Like I'm actually in the reverse right now. Like a lot of my money is just tied up in VV. I would love to invest in OMI, but like all my money's tied up in VV, and like I'm afraid to liquidate it and do it like an escrow and all that stuff. Like I would love to put like a bunch of money in OMI right now and just like let it sit and chill, but I just don't want to deal with like the logistics of that and then having to deal with the multiple steps of OMI right now. So I'm in like the opposite predicament. And so like the same thing is with them. They're like, I have all this OMI. I would invest in VV, but I just, you know, I don't want to have to withdraw and pay taxes and like basically pay again when I go back into VV. Like I'm just gonna wait for OMI to NFT, and I'm just gonna buy all the good ones, you know, the blue chips, including all the ones that I feel like are undervalued. Like you're gonna have experienced buyers coming in versus new buyers that are just gobbling up blue chips. I mean, the clown. I would do OMI payments if I could ever automate it. There's like 25,000 users on Wiki, so if I had to verify everything, it would take over half my life. Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, to do that manually would be insane. You know, and even if you did do something similar to like Randy, like, oh, just give me, you know, just give me 2 alligator Loki comments and let me put you up on my fridge. Like, there's a little difference between having 15 people up on your fridge and having 25,000 people on your platform every day. Like there's kind of a big difference between the two. Mark, love the chart analysis and solid buys for the regular person, Zombie, Groots, Deadpool, Throg. Love the content. All not millionaires. Exactly, dude. And I think that's where I settle in. Like I do own a handful of like arguably grails or whatever. Like, I don't have a Todd. I've been meaning to get a Todd since he was like 7K, but I was always short of getting him. I got close and then he jumped to 10 and then 14. And then it's like, I haven't given up on getting him. I would love to get him someday. And I'm sure I will with enough flips or, you know, if I stack the right NFTs and do that multiple times before Todd really takes off, could happen. Like where's Todd at actually right now? I swear to God, if he's at like 16 right now, he's at 13.2. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. But yeah, that's why like my videos aren't just like, this is pumping, oh my God, it's gonna keep pumping. Like talking about ultra rare Spider-Man is cool. Talking about Todd or the partner statue, it's like cool, but like very few people can afford it. Like if I had 1,000 viewers, you know, 980 of them won't be able to even afford it or even like look at it on their app without like being like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'd rather just give recommendations or find the NFTs that people aren't looking at right now that are still affordable. That's just kind of like my take on it. Cause I was that person too, not too long ago. Like just trying to find that diamond in the rough, the nooks and crannies. Beyond the Fan, thanks for the stream. I'm off to bed to get some sleep. Thanks for stopping by, dude. I'm actually 6 minutes over right now. But I did have a long stream. How long did I stream for? Like 3 hours or something like that? Maybe a little bit less. Not entirely sure. But yeah, if you guys liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll probably put out a video at some point. Because I did think, VV did say they did have like a couple AMAs this week. I think they had one today talking about like the OMI token and all that. And I think they will have another one. Maybe talking about the future of just VV drops or whatever it is, but I would love to. I'm probably gonna make a video talking about like, these are the questions I would love to actually get asked in the next AMA that would actually help people either navigate the marketplace or like navigate the app better or help us enable more ways to make money. Like for me, the whole buy order thing is a huge deal because now we actually have a margin because like a lot of time people don't know where the floor is for a lot of these NFTs because people just keep undercutting each other or there's so much action that happens in such a short time. But if I could just put up a buy order, because right now Superman's at like 7 point whatever, there's probably some people on here that are like, oh my God, I want to flip this for this plus 1,000 gems for like a Steamboat Willie, but I have to keep undercutting other people because I can't sell it. So if I put up a buy order for, because where's that right now? 7.4. If I put one up for a 6.8, someone might take that. Someone might sell their Superman for 6.8 just to have the gems and just immediately buy a Steamboat Willie just because they're like, gosh, it could take till tomorrow, until someone buys my Superman. And Steamboat Willie could be at 10.2 at that point, and I miss it. Like, and at that point, nobody created a margin trading. Now you can actually buy Supermans for 6.8, wait till it pumps, sell it for 7.7, and then you just play that game if you really wanted to. But again, I think just the way that the app is set up, I don't think it's designed in a way to like hold gems in a cloud or somewhere it's not, but it's the gems always have to be in a wallet somewhere. And if it's not, it's just, I think it's difficult for them to handle, but that's just me personally. So, Zombie Spidey or Common Deadpool? Last, Mark, Zombie Spidey or Common Deadpool things? Am I literally typing in Common Deadpool? Let me look at these and then I'll get off. Wow, 228 for Deadpool. I did not realize this is okay. All right, that's it. That's actually just my thing being weird. Well, I think that's a good sign to end the stream. I think that's a legit sign to end the stream. I would say it's hard. Deadpool is like there's only that set. So the nice thing is like I do think the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man might have like a higher ceiling, but maybe short term like Common Deadpool could be it because there's only that set. Are we talking about stacking? Are you just trying to buy one? Or are you trying to stack? Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a really good question. I'll have to think about that one. I think maybe Deadpool, just because it's running so hard. But Zombie Spy, I don't know if you can't go wrong with either one. And again, like they're both in that range of 200. Like they're both in that range of like 200 to like 300. Who will get to 100K first, Todd or Superman? Todd, in my opinion, Todd. I think it's a pretty straightforward one. I think Superman will always be 2/3 of the price, roughly, of Todd. To stack, how many? I'll look it up on my phone really quick. How many are of each one? Where's Marvel? There it is. Or Spider-Man, I should probably look that up. Right now, I would say Spider-Man. There's only one left at 300. It's starting to run up pretty quickly. Let me look at Deadpool really quick. Like if you're trying to stack, that tells me you're obviously trying to flip some. And right now there's just so much hype around Spider-Man. I think Deadpool might hit a wall. I mean, Deadpool could run too really well. But I think just because there's just so many mints of Deadpool, I do think people will start taking profit because it started off lower, right? So because there's so many people that probably bought Deadpool at 150 and below, there's gonna be a lot of people gonna eventually, I think, take profits at Deadpool at some point, like once it hits like 250. But like because Zombie Hunter Spider-Man's been around 300-ish, like 250, 300, maybe even went down as low as like 230. I do think it could run. That's just me in my opinion. I would say can't see your chart, boss. I'm actually ending the stream, and like literally my Firefox crashed as I was doing it, but like I'm sorry I have to go. But yeah, does my thing still says my broadcast? It's kind of annoying. It says I'll have to fix that next time. But like on both the YouTube stream as well as OBS.